Sandra Velzimore. Now he has a chance to fly.
Women's relay gold goes to the Gladiators.
It's going to be the Dutch Lions taking the win here. Kim Gilly, one on the helmet, one at the line. Jens van het Wout Dutch Lions roar for gold. The Ice Maples standing tall in Montreal.
There it is, the Olympic Park, the home of the 1976 Olympics and the home of short track for the past 2 weekends. ISU Short Track World Tour, the debut season, the second week in a row here at the Maurice Richard Arena, coming to, as we expect, a thrilling end before the tour breaks camp ahead of setting off to Asia for next month. A look inside the arena, just getting going, Gavin Day. Tyler Dara, one final time. We've lost our breaths a lot calling races this weekend. What's not for one more weekend? Let's have a go.
Let's have a go for sure. I can't think of a more exciting way to kick off this final day in Montreal with the mixed relay. We're in for a treat.
There is no rise at all. It's just starting right at the top, starting fast, and we'll just continue that through the entire afternoon. A nice look at ice level of that brand new graphic for the ISU Short Track World Tour. Fans piling in. They were able to get a good turnout on such short notice, getting a crowd, and kudos to the organizers here, and they've put together 2 really good weeks here, Tyler.
Yeah, they had a lot of work to have that quick turnaround. Great to see the crowd filing in here. It's going to be a great atmosphere this afternoon.
Plenty of volunteers coming out for back-to-back weekends. Always nice to have the helpful, smiling faces, and as I mentioned, breaking camp after this one in less than a month. It's off to Beijing for the second 2 stops out of 6. It'll be Beijing and then Seoul before heading into the new year with stops in Tilburg in the Netherlands. And finally, the Olympic test event. Yes, the O word coming out as the countdown is on to Milan 2026. There is the schedule, mixed team relay, getting things going, as we said, starting fast, and we're going to end fast because we have the women's 1500 meter semifinals and finals. There's also the women's 500, the men's thousands, and of course finishing, as we tend to, with a relay. This one is the men's 5,000 meters. How do you set this up? We've had unpredictable results, wild finishes the entire weekend. I'm going to assume you're going to say we might see some more of that today.
Oh, I think very much so, Gavin. You know, a couple skaters these past 2 weekends. William Danjanu really showing he's in top form. Kristen Santos Griswold with a couple struggles early on this weekend, but she's going to be looking to make amends today. We'll expect to see her in the 1500 meter as that action gets underway following this mixed relay.
And also the Crystal Globe team event, the new part of the new event of this World Tour. They get the triple points for that team Crystal Globe in the relays, so a chance for some teams here to bank some big points.
Yeah, a lot of points up for grabs here. These mixed relays and the relay events are just so valuable towards that team overall trophy. So you got to make sure you battle for every position, whether it's an A final or a B final.
So here we go, B final. Coming out has the USA Eagles, the Kazakh Nomads, Korea White Tigers, who finished in silver last weekend, and the Chinese Lungs. So some of the teams in the running for that team Crystal Globe, and it might be a B final, but as you mentioned, they need to bank some points here today, because not every weekend's going to go your way, but even when you're not at your best, you've got to put some points into the bank.
Well, we saw some surprises in the semifinal of the mixed relay, so that's where we're seeing some of these teams that we're used to seeing in an A final here in the B final, which is going to make for a fantastic race. Interesting
B final for the U.S. We'll go through the whole teams, but the U.S. notable without Kristen Santos Griswold and Corin Stoddard. Obviously, they're focusing on some of the individual events. So that U.S. lineup: Clayton DiClemente, Wesley Park, Louisiana Stahl, and Una Wilhoit. And it's Wilhoit to start for the USA Eagles.
Go to the start. ready.
Malika Yermak in there for the Nomads. And we kind of jump right into the middle of things in medias res, as they say, right into the middle, because it's off. This isn't like the other relays where there's maybe a bit of a feeling out process. It's a short one, and they're flying.
You have no time to waste. It's only 18 laps. That means we get right to the action.
And it is the Chinese lungs wasting no time getting right to the front. They each do 2.5 laps, unlike the other relays. They're all planned. Everybody goes 2.5 laps. Everybody does 2 laps. And off on the front, Wang Xinran well in front right now. They're now joined by the Korean White Tigers. And the Nomads closing up a little bit there, trying to make it a 3-horse race. It's Aibek Nassen for the Nomads, trying to close things down there.
Well, the White Tigers are managing this pace at the front. Mid 8-second lap time, so they're not going top speed just yet. They are moving along quickly, but they're going to be holding some energy back, saving some energy for the finish.
Lee Jun-soo out on the ice, a guy who's, let's just say, he's been around forever. He's been around for a long time anyway. Back after a long hiatus, not being on the team. Here he is, leading the relay.
Well, he's one of many great Olympic champions from Korea, representing the White Tigers here this weekend. Great to see him back on the circuit again.
3-horse race right now. Zheng Chutong in for the lungs. Neither of the defending Crystal Globe leaders are out there for the White Tigers in this one.
Well, I think coaches are starting to manage the schedules. This is a very busy weekend for these athletes, so we're seeing them start to pick and choose their moments to shine.
And there's a bump between the two. The White Tigers go in front. That's a lot of speed going out on the lungs, and that allows the Nomads to move up into second.
Now we're going to see them move, coming up on 3 laps to go here.
There is the gun. One more exchange coming. It's Afzal Asgaliev, and the Chinese lungs have been gotten right back in it. There will be a review. Nope, they've switched it to green, so the review is complete. It's all racing right now. It's the White Tigers in front, on course to win the B final. Asgaliev going to take a look. It is going to be actually Lu Xiaolin getting up in the end to sneak second place. I believe they got it right at the line.
Well, interesting to note, Gavin, as you mentioned earlier, some of the athletes that we might have expected to see in this relay aren't here. Kim Geely, Choi Min Jong, Kristen Santos Griswold, Corey Stoddard, they have that 1,500 meter coming up very soon. So I think they're choosing to rest for that individual event.
And there was that review on the bump there between the White Tigers and the lungs, but it was cleared up, and so quick review determined no foul. And so now the show begins a little bit, as this is the race for the medals coming up. They've got the Crystal Globe out on the podium. We'll get the nice introduction. Once the lights go down, that's when you know the big introduction for all the teams with that backdrop and that Crystal Globe are coming up. There is a look, and yes, indeed, the lungs jump up to get second. And a nice injection of points for the Korean White Tigers in that mixed team relay. We're down to 3 in the A final. Belgium are listed as a do not start. And we've just looked ahead, and Hannah Desmet is on start list for future races, but they do only have 2 women entered here, so if something does happen injury-wise, there's no replacement for them.
No, I mean, one great thing about the mixed relay event is that it allows smaller countries to gain access to a team event. However, if you only have 2 skaters, you have to follow that sequence of exchanges required in the mixed relay of 2.5 laps for each female, then followed by 2.5 each male, and then again 2-2 for every other skater as they go through the race. However, if you don't have that additional sub, it looks like the Belgian Ice Bears are going to have to take a pass on this one.
So a 3-team A final. Let's go down to the ice for the introductions. Ninjas, just to underline how unpredictable this is. A week ago in this event, the Japanese Ninjas didn't even get out of the quarterfinals, finishing third in the heat of 3. And here they are today in the A final.
With only 3 teams racing. Really changes the dynamic of this mixed relay. It's going to open up a lot of ice on the track.
We saw the introductions. No Danjanu for the Canadian Ice Maples. The Dutch, as they have done, bringing both Sandra and Michelle Felsboer to the line. They also have Shinky Connect and Jens van het Wout. 3 teams. Well, potentially here, the podium. But of course, anything can happen now.
Go to the start. Ready.
Kanae Rika starting things off for the Ninjas. Boutin and Michelle Velzeboer. Last week they started with Sandra Velzeboer the first time through the order. And then the second time through the order, they switched it up and had Sandra going lead off on the 2 women's legs.
So starting with a different strategy here, let's see if they actually make that exchange again, if they swap the sisters out in orders again, but we will have to wait and see.
Sandra Velzeboer, Florence Brunel, and Nakashima Mide. 1, 2, and 3 right now.
Well, you might be thinking, hey, there's only 3 teams, there's 3 medals, everyone's hitting the podium. You still have to skate a clean race. You can't get a disqualification. You will not get a podium if you do.
That B final becomes suddenly so important. Shinky Connect, Felix Roussel in right now. Yokoyama Hidoki for the Ninjas. Eyes on the top of his helmet. He's just eyeing the action going on in front of him.
Well, again, with only 3 teams here, less desperation. You're not going to get caught all the way back and forth, so you can move up more quickly through the field with only 3 teams on the ice. Also, the exchanges, you get more room on the exchanges, so it's a little less pressure when you're going out.
This will complete the first round of skating. Jens van het Wout, Steven Dubois, and Miyata Shogo. Looks like those will be the anchor legs when it's all said and done. And back we go. It's Michelle Velzeboer again leading the way. Velzeboer family loves to sit at the front.
And they did not swap the order this time.
He's the younger of the 2 right now. The Ninjas starting to lose touch a little bit. Boutin taking a look, maybe sizing up a move. She's going outside to inside. Is there a pass coming on the move? There is. Brunel goes through.
Both these teams are going to want that gold medal. They are not going to hold back, even if they're thinking, hey, we played safe, we're still on that podium. They're not thinking like that. They're thinking victory.
Sandra Velzeboer, the Dutch Lions, picked up the win last weekend with the Ice Maples finishing in 3rd. Roussel has a bit of separation. Shinky Connect trying to hang on. Down 2-3 to go. One final exchange coming. It's going to be Dubois and van het Wout to finish things off.
Well, the Ice Maples opening up a little gap here on the Lions, but Jens van het Wout, he has speed. He can certainly close this gap down.
And it is Dubois well out in front. The Canadians just need to hang on, and it will be the Ice Maples starting off with a gold medal. Home ice indeed.
A nice friendly handshake between coaches we saw in the coaches box. Lots of smiles. And it's gold for the Ice Maples at home.
Bronze a week ago. Moving up 2 steps this week. And the team that came in this weekend with a lead in those Crystal Globe team standings will pad on to that lead here.
As we talked about, huge points for that team, Crystal Globe, winning a relay, 300 points to that team.
And then, of course, if you're looking just for the mixed relay standings, which, of course, separate the individual event itself, it's 100 points in that standing.
That's correct.
A warm ovation from the home support. Congratulations from teammates. And so they're just going to stay right on the ice as they hand out the medals. Dubois just pouring away, and we know Van het Wout, the 1,000-meter winner last weekend, has some speed endurance. Just not long enough for him to really close that down.
Well, Stephen Dubois' top-end speed is so difficult to match. We've seen him a few times go sub 40 seconds in the 500 meter, just highlighting how quick he is. So just not quite enough time for Jens van 't Wout to try to close that gap down and finish.
So it will be gold for the Ice Maples, silver for the Lions, bronze for the Ninjas. Not a bad jump a week for them, finishing in third in the quarterfinals a week ago. And a tidy bronze medal today for them. In these sorts of races, even just getting to the finish line without incident is an accomplishment.
It is. You got to watch, because if you do have a mishap and you go down and it's just on your own accord, you got to make sure your tag ups are still in proper sequence.
And we will send things down for the victory ceremony just before heading into our first flood of the afternoon.
Team Canada.
So the Dutch Lions get 5 medals. It's Actalat used in an earlier round. And Tyler, some of these skaters have quite sizable international medal collections. My question is, where do they keep them? Is there just a shoebox where they'll just chuck them on the pile when they get home?
Well, we had a discussion with Courtney Sorrell yesterday morning, kind of asking her, do you even know how many medals you have anymore?
You grilled her. You grilled her.
Grilled her a little bit. She couldn't remember. I don't blame her. There was a lot to her name, just like many of these skaters down here. You know, I think some of the special medals that they have, they might be putting on display, but yeah, they may just have a box under their bed at this point. Probably weighs about 50 pounds for some of them.
A couple of them adding quite a bit to their collections, and if they're flying long distance home for the month in between, that's going to be some heavy luggage. Look at the updated Crystal Globe team standings, 300 points for Canada. They're now at 24.52. Korean White Tigers 19.68, but there's a long way to go, and one weekend will just change these in a hurry.
Absolutely. Well, after this weekend, we're going to be about, we'll be a third of the way through the tour. So, that's a very healthy lead that the Ice Maples have right now. But as you mentioned, Gavin, we got to stay tuned because that could change quickly as these other teams move to their home ice.
Definitely, with Beijing coming up and Korea, 2 places where we can expect some pretty exciting crowds, and they'll be cheering on their own teams, and we'll see how that reshuffles things in the end. You see there on the board now 16 minutes until we get going for the individual races on the day. First, the women's 1,500 meter semifinals and the men's 1,000 meter semifinals. And as we have a bit of a break and you can go fuel up for the next little bit of racing over the course of this break, we will have a look at a recap of yesterday's action from here in Montreal, and then hear from some of the skaters about what they love about short track. Lots to come. Don't go anywhere. Another incredible weekend of short track here in Montreal. As we all know, it's a very fan-friendly sport. Lots to pay attention to. What about the athletes? What do they love about short track? Let's hear from them.
The best thing about short track. The best thing for me about short track.
The best thing about short track, I'll say...
How to phrase it?
The speed.
The speed for sure.
We are going fast. Just the speed.
The best thing about short track, the excitement of the racing, the unpredictability, action. The passing, the hitting, the speed, the falls, everything. It's amazing.
I think betting on the sport will never be possible because it's so you never know who's going to put it.
I think it's the feeling of speed, and when you put the arm on the ice, it's like you don't have this feeling in any other sport. It's like yeah.
I love the feeling of the ice. I love to put my blades on the ice, and I really love to feel this glide, this feeling on the ice. It doesn't get boring at all. The whole race is just keep going and non-stop.
You never know who's going to win, and I think this is one of the prettiest things in this sport because You might feel good, you might feel strong, but that doesn't mean you're a winner.
There's so many things going on that you have to react fast and you have to be aware all the time.
I'll say strategy and the crash.
1000m? 1000m가 제일 좋고 제일 다양한 레이스, 제일 빠른 레이스, 제일 어려운 레이스가 되기 때문에
Actually, short track is the coolest sport. Overtaking in high speed, and in short track we need a lot of techniques and endurance. We need all the balance.
just competing with each other, you know, and that's the most fun. That's where the adrenaline comes from.
오른발 탈 때 제일 짜릿하고 제일 좋아하는 구간입니다.
That you're on thin blade, do so big speed, you know, it's like, it's amazing, just amazing.
僕が思う一番好きなのはハイスピードの中で戦略があって、その中で相手を抜く、相手に抜かさせないっていうようなことをしているっていうのがとても迫力があって大好きです。
Hard to choose just one. I think we're the most exciting sport in the world by far.
Now those athletes are who we come to see. It's up to them to make the World Tour what it is. And Tyler, so far, they haven't disappointed, have they?
No, not at all. This new World Tour format has been fantastic. Quick schedule, quick turnarounds, action-packed, seeing the top skaters go toe-to-toe every single time we touch the ice.
Let's take a look back at what happened yesterday. Big personalities, big moments, big final. I feel the pressure building. Donjanu to go 2 for 2 at home, and he does.
And he's flying. Starting to feel a little bit of fatigue with last week being pretty intense too. So yeah, you can see it in my voice, I'm pretty tired, but I'm just overall happy that I got to get the job done pretty much, yeah.
Balsador on the front, Choi watching her. Going to be Choi Min-jong taking this one. Wow.
일단 작년에 쉬고 올해 돌아와서 처음 금메달을 따게 돼서 너무 기뻤고 이번에 이제 새롭게 복귀하면서 다른 선수들과 경쟁을 잘 할 수 있을지에 대한 궁금함이랑 기대가 있었는데 이번 금메달 따면서 충분히 경쟁력 있다는 걸 느꼈기 때문에 앞으로 더 열심히 해서 좋은 성적을 계속해서 얻고 싶어요.
Second, nicely done from him. It's Dubois. He's going to finish on top of the podium on this week.
The two skaters next to me were going to be super close at the start, and I could create some opening for William behind me. So that's really what happened. I heard from the announcer that he was second, and then I knew we were in business. 1-2, just like we did last weekend. We worked a lot together over the summer in preparation for the World Cup, so I'm super happy how it went down, and all according to plan.
Outside, what a round for the lead. What drama unfolding here. Tang over the line first. What a race.
We were at the end of a long day. I felt pretty tired, but I put that in the past. But then it was really important for me to make sure I'll see the opportunities when they come, and I feel like that's exactly what I did in that race for the team. I saw opportunities and I just took them. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like last week we won, but then we got penalized, so it was redemption time, and we just did it. So yeah, we're all very proud.
And now we get into some individual events. Very quick turnaround. First 3 women's 1500 meter semifinals. And there'll be men's 1000 quarterfinals, and then back to the 1500. Quick turnaround, and Tyler's been timing them because he's it's a new interesting addition to the World Tour, is the quick races in succession.
Yeah, we've seen some of the turnarounds be as short as 14 minutes for some of these skaters. In one case, we saw Natalini stay on the ice from a mixed relay right to one of his following individual races. So it's certainly a change. We're starting to see some tactics from the coaches picking and choosing who they're putting in which team events to give their athletes more rest and better their odds in their individual distances as well.
3 heats in this women's 1500 meters. 2 of the heats have 7. One of them has 6. Tyler spotted that Shim Suk Hee is left off the starting list for heat number 3. She did have a crash yesterday, and so from the looks of things, she also did just miss the mixed relay as well. So from the looks of things, she's just not able to compete today.
Well, hopefully it's just precautionary and she's going to be okay and come back for Beijing healthy and strong.
There is the first heat. You just saw the start list. There's Kristen Santos Griswold out for a small measure of revenge. Birthday didn't go exactly according to plan yesterday. She was the Crystal Globe leader coming in. Of course, things will get shuffled around, but of course wanting to finish with another World Cup or World Tour medal. Santos Griswold, Florence Brunel, Olga Tikhonova, Danae Blais, Gong Li, Elisa Confortola, and Zhu Eli.
Go is the start. Ready.
Zhu came through the repechage this morning. And the qualification criteria here, first and second place will go through, and up to 1 of the 3rd fastest skaters will go through. So 33% chance if you're in 3rd place, and then, as always, if there are advancements, that one goes right out the window. So it looks like it's a race for the rankings right now.
Yeah, when the skaters see that 2+1, they're really looking at this as a 2+0 to punch their ticket to that A final. So I suspect we'll see these races start off a little bit slower, skaters jockeying for position towards the front. And once we kind of get within that 9 to 7 lap range, there's going to be a lot of movement happening as skaters try to position themselves up in those top 2 positions.
We did see a lot of clean racing in the 500s this morning. So if the first 2 go clean with very slow races, that 3rd heat has the advantage of trying to ramp up the pace and try to get that 3rd place time. But a lot has to happen for that first as Florence Brunel jumps to the front.
And there's that 9-lap marker, and we see the skaters reacting quite quickly.
Santos Griswold, she's mentioned that she, particularly in a relay, but she does like to be in a place where she has to pass and shake things up a little bit, but she's near the front right now. There's a lot of strength in that race. Right now it's Danae Blais on the front. Those Canadian Ice Maples victorious in the women's relay yesterday.
It's also worth noting that there's the B final positions up for grabs. That's typically the 3rd, 4th place finishers in these races. So you can't shut down, even if you feel like maybe the race isn't quite going your way, you still want to get to that B final as well, because there's big points up for grabs there too.
Not everybody advances to the B final from these semis, and so you can go to an A, you can go to a B, or you can be shut out altogether. And as Tyler said, if you're chasing those points, you certainly don't want to miss out on any final.
Well, Danae Blais has been racing from the front all weekend. She's doing so again. As we come around, we're going to have 2 laps to go, so she's in good position. But watch Kristen Santos Griswold building up on the outside. A quick wrap to the lead.
Just like that, Kristen Santos Griswold hits the front. Elisa Confortola now taking a look behind Blais. But here comes Florence Brunel as well. It's Kristen Santos Griswold putting a shift, pulling away, taking this one on course for the A final. And second, I think Confortola might have just gotten it. Came down to timing on the reach.
What a finish. We're going to need the photo for that one. Danae Blais was controlling that race. She was doing everything she needed to do, be up towards the front. I think she knows, okay, Kristen Santos Griswold is a tough competitor to match. If I stay near the front, she goes outside, then I'm going to defend that 2nd spot to punch my ticket. But we got to go to the photo finish there.
And it's Elisa Confortola who may have timed it just brilliantly at the line there, Confortola.
I think Confortola might have just executed that last corner exit perfectly.
We'll get a look. There's Santos Griswold going around the outside. In control, and here's a look. And let's see, where does the boot cross over? And it is, I think it's Confortola.
Nice stretch.
There it is. Confirmed 2, 3, and 4. And so the Gladiator times it right. That woman looks to be back at her best into the A final. And plenty of talent in this second heat, just looking to see who's on the ice. And oh boy, there's Hannah de Smet. There's the reigning 500-meter world champion. You know, just look at those results there. Danae Blais will now watch. So moving out into the B final. So there's Hannah de Smet. There's Kim Boutin, the 500-meter world champion. There's a returning Ariana Fontana, who looks like she has not missed a beat. Petra Yashapati of the Hungarian Falcons, skating very well. Sandra Velsboer of the Dutch Lions, Gloria Iorietti of the Gladiators, and Hirai Ami of the Ninjas. Yikes.
So, is a start. Ready.
This is a deep, deep field, and depending on how the race goes, whether it's someone who has a quick sprint advantage or someone who picks up the pace early, who knows whose strength this might play to, but it's Iorietti of the Gladiators moving to the front, looking to join her teammate.
Well, the return of Ariana Fontana this weekend has really kind of shaken up these races, added a lot more depth. Right here, this could be an A final itself. Skaters conserving energy right now. They don't want to exhaust themselves too early in the race. You know you have to finish strong. You need speed at the end to bring it home, so you don't want to exhaust those legs too early.
They're strung out a little bit. Sandra Velsboer would certainly like to keep it at more of a pedestrian pace and use her back end speed to finish strong, and now she is picking things up a little bit, trying to go around the outside, and there is Fontana in that jet black helmet. Yashapati on the front. de Smet now, it's really the washing machine effect as everyone trying to execute their tactics.
Well, you want to move up right now before it gets too quick, because it just gets increasingly difficult as the laps go by.
de Smet on the front. Boutin in second. Velsboer in third. Velsboer, of course, won the 500 and the 1,000 last weekend. She makes the jump into second. Still behind Boutin. The leader of this Ice Maples women's side, the veteran, multiple Olympic medal winner, and de Smet now. She goes.
Now this race is about to explode. The pace is going to pick up really quick now. Let's watch Fontana. She's looking to move.
Fontana, in earlier races to get on, she really had done just enough to move on. Let's see how she times things.
Kim Boutin up the inside on Sandra Velsboer. Trying to tuck up in behind Hannah de Smet, who's taking this from the lead.
And there's Iorietti and Yashapati down. Coming up to the bell, it's de Smet, it's Boutin. And here comes Fontana on Velsboer. As Fontana left it a bit late, it is de Smet and Boutin on course to finish 1 and 2. Up into third is Fontana, 2:27.34. There are a pair of yellow markers there indicating under investigation, but that was certainly faster than heat number 1.
Well, a well-skated race by de Smet there, just taking control of that lead from the front and pushing the pace, letting all the action unfold behind her.
De Smet, a medal winner last weekend in the 500, but this is her wheelhouse, and she looked it right there, very comfortable, moving on what is essentially her home ice training here.
Well, de Smet, she actually got a silver medal last weekend as well in the 1500.
Right, of course. There's so many medals. And the woman who won that 1500 is in the next heat. You just love the depth of this, that on any day, anything can happen. Smet, I think will be okay as they look. What's the... let's see here. Possible contact. Yoriati on Yashapati, contact from behind. Possible inside skater failure to give way.
That was Fontana on Sandra Velzabor.
Yeah. And so they're looking at both those. Neither of them were in positions to be in those top spots to advance. But we'll see what the ruling is. Of course, spots in the B final are on the line.
Skaters could be advanced to a B final too. There's another look at that inside pass from Fontana.
Velzabor. Of course, the stewards are out there doing the yeoman's work, patching up the ice in several spots. They've got their buckets of snow, their water bottles, and in one case a fire extinguisher to flash freeze things out there. Looks like reviews are completed. He's just, our referee is just popping over to punch in the results, and then if there is any discipline to be handed out, he will make an announcement down on the ice. Coach is watching, waiting, wondering. Summary here, but it's just coming out in to make an announcement before changing things up for a second. There's a look at the finish.
You can see Kim Boutin giving that double fist pump there at the end. Definitely some relief on her making it to the 1500 meter A final. Not typically her specialty, so great to see her mixing it up in this distance.
After review, we give a penalty to skater 105 from Italy.
There you have it, and so it's only to Ariana Fontana getting penalized, and so she finished third, but that time not quite good enough. As she's been penalized. Sandra Velzabor's third place time is putting her on the bubble right now as one of the possible faster third place skaters. And you're talking about specialties. Sandra Velzabor, we know as we look at the replay here, it said skater failure to give way on the corner. But Sandra Velzabor, of course, really a 500 meter, 1,000 meter specialist. And in the quest for the Crystal Globe, you've got to pick up points in the events that are not perhaps to your forte.
You're going to use your best 15 races, so you have to use a mixture of all events. You can't just rely on 2 events, the 500 or the 1,000. You'll have to add some 1,500 meter results for Velzabor as well.
There is 6 skaters, as you can see. No Shimsoki. Askich, Kim, Deltrap, Yamana, Stoddard, and Choi.
Go to the start. Ready.
Very safely away, and it's the American Corn Stoddard already on the podium this weekend, jumping to the front. Corey, sorry, go ahead.
Corey Stoddard's picked up medals in both the 1,000 meter events this World Tour season, but she's in for some tough competition with Crystal Globe champion from last season, Kim Gee-Lee. Always a threat, but her teammate, Choi Min-jung of the White Tigers, is in top form right now. We saw her win the 1,000 meter yesterday. So this is going to be a showdown right to the end.
2 White Tigers. We'll see if they pounce identically. And they're slowly taking a look. Kim, last week's winner, world champion as well. Still, of course, we can't forget, she's still just 20 years old, and so who knows how many records will fall from that woman once her career is all said and done. Still Stoddard on the front, Zoe Deltrap, the young Lion, perhaps one of the newer additions to the Dutch Lions side. And Yamana Rina bumping into second. Deltrap goes down. We'll get a review.
Here come the White Tigers. Kim Gee-Lee starting the pursuit to the front, and her teammate Choi Min-jung tracking her down on the outside.
Right in her wake. Stoddard doing what she can to try to maintain. Now this race is really picking up, barring any advancements. We don't know if that third place will go someone's way, but right now it's the White Tigers in charge.
Kim Geely is going to slowly progress this pace. Expect we'll start to see some low 9-second laps now. There's a 9.4 as the pace picks up. Choi Min-jong is really blocking the inside. It's going to be difficult for Stoddard to make something happen here.
At the bell, it is the Korean White Tigers 1 and 2. Kim in control of this race as she has so many of the course of her already young career. And it's Kim and Choi 1 and 2, 2:18.17. That is the fastest of the heats, but we will look back at that review because at the time Zoe Deltrap was in second place.
That's right. And you mentioned it earlier, Gavin. There wasn't any advancements yet, so we thought maybe this race may go with a little bit more of aggressive pace. Corey Stoddard did just that. This is the fastest semifinal that we've seen in the 1500 meter. I think part of that strategy was knowing that she had two very difficult competitors to beat in Choi Min-jong and Kim Geely, so she maybe had that time in the back of her mind, but we may see an advancement here, so we're gonna have to wait for the official results.
Look back at the incident there.
As we're watching these last laps, Choi Min-jong just doing such a good job of controlling the inside lane, really not giving Corey Stoddard much room to go anywhere on trying to make a pass.
So the Tigers, White Tigers, they like to say strength in stripes, and well, they showed that there. I don't think they are worried about any of the reviews coming back to haunt them. There we go. Looks like I'm not sure if anything's being announced. Looks like that is not going to have anything, and so it is Corn Stoddard moving into the A final behind Kim Geely and Choi Min-jong. Yamana Arena and Valentina Askic will go to the B final. Let's look at your 1,000-meter finalists. 1,500 meter finalists, pardon me. I'm already moving ahead to the men's 1,000 meters. That's what got into my head. They're already out on the ice. And there is the B final. So these 1,000-meter quarterfinals are 4 heats, first and second place from each race, and up to a maximum of 2 fastest third-place skaters qualify for the semis. Heat 1, Roberts Kreuzberg's on the podium last weekend and this weekend, but not in the 1,000. He's trying to get back there in the 1,000 this weekend. Niall Tracy, Sun Long, Thomas Natalini, and Miyata Shogo. Two guys here, Tyler Tracy and Kreuzberg, who both like to be at the front.
They both pull up to lead this 1,000-meter. But look who we have here. Viata taking the lead early, but watch for Tracy, watch for Kreuzberg. Try to get that right back.
Early spoiler, perhaps. Miyata knew he had 2 guys who like to hold things up from the front and decided maybe I'm going to try this instead.
Well, I think it's a great strategy for Miyata to go to the front right away because he knows one of those 2 skaters is going to strike. But here goes Sun Long, not wasting any time. He wants to get there too.
Already an animated race. Sun Long going around and threw Miyata off a little bit. He slips back to 4th. It's Tracy and Kreuzberg, and here comes Natalini. Time to make a move for him.
Well, we're seeing the pace down to 8-second lap times. Sun Long had just done an 8.6 before. Once we get to that top speed of these skaters, it's really difficult to make a move, and there goes Kreuzberg.
All the way up the inside in the lead. Kreuzberg's a brilliant move from him. Natalini trying to go around the outside into 2 to go.
Natalini moving really well on the outside. Kreuzberg's doing a good job of defending. The pace is quick now.
At the bell, Sun Long visibly fading. That allows Kreuzberg and Natalini to skate off into the distance as Sun Long holding up the rest of the skaters behind him. It's Kreuzberg's back for another A final. Confidence surging in that man right now.
Kreuzberg showed some patience there in this one. In the previous thousands we've seen him do, it was just right from the front the whole way through. That one wasn't quite going his way. He bided his time, made a great position, made a great attack to the front to take that top position.
On to the semis from all regards.
Here's a look at that outside move by Sun Long. A little bit of bumping that opens the door for Tracy to come through. What happened after Sun Long took the lead there, he dropped it down to 8-6, and he relaxed. He kind of dropped the pace back down into the 9s, and that was that perfect opportunity for Kreuzberg to strike. So sometimes it's a matter of timing, feeling the pace changing, and knowing, hey, I got to go now.
And shutout from the podium last year on the international circuit. This year, he's already made 2 trips, one last weekend and one this weekend. And so the Golden Star on his way perhaps to the semis. Results haven't been made official just yet, but expecting that too. There is a small review going on. A small review. It's a review. It doesn't matter what size it is. They aren't taking out, but we didn't see any of the yellow dots. But there was that move that Sun made on Miyata. Sort of got him out wide, and so perhaps they're reviewing that. It is just a video check according to our screen, and so just reconfirming everything was made correctly. So I just saying, nah, he just held the hand out. So I think we're all good. They've been made official. Natalini and Kreuzberg's 2 and 1 there. And third at the moment, 124.485 is Sun Long's time. 3 races in this one. Heat 2. Jens van 't Wout, last weekend's winner, and Dan Koss, the Dutch Lions, in position 1 and 2. Liu Xiaoang, and then Felix Pigeon from the Polish Hussars, and Theo Collins, another one from the British Royals. Has shown a good turn of pace, getting right into these quarterfinals. Right up in front of Liu right now, but it's the Lions hitting the front, and we'll see what kind of block they can set up.
Don Koss is not wasting any time. He's going to go right to the lead.
Wow. Slowing things down a little bit, allowing that gap to open up. Now, not really any team orders, but you do know who you're skating with, and you do know the strengths of your teammates. And so, of course, you want a teammate to join you in the final.
Jens van 't Wout is such a shifty skater, and his ability to adjust his track pattern. He has a lot of confidence right now. I think he knows he can attack from pretty well everywhere, and he can defend from anywhere too. Sometimes we see those gaps opening up. Skaters allow that to happen so they can kind of manage their speed within the pack.
Liu now making a move all the way around the outside. Not quite around either of the Lions just yet, and van 't Wout shifting, as he mentioned, up into the lead. Liu now trying to make a move for second and making it stick.
Great move by Liu. I think he's in a good spot right now. You don't want to track down Jens van 't Wout with 1 to go, but Theo Collins coming up.
Collins making a push on Liu. It looks like it's van 't Wout skating another smooth race for him, and Collins makes it close. But Liu in second, and we'll just see Collins 125.70. Not the faster of the 2 heats we've seen so far.
Well, in that first heat, we saw Kreuzberg's time at 123.7. That was a quick race. So Sun Long is holding that time spot right now at a 124.4. That's a quick time. That could hold up if we don't see any advancements.
He was even fading there a little bit, but just being able to keep that high pace was to his benefit.
I think he was fading because of how quick that race was. He had a lot of fatigue in those legs.
I like to point out it's easier to put some time in the bank early than chase and forced to ramp up speed when you might not have much energy left. But Liu comfortably on there. That result is official. Jens van het Wout, Liu Xiaoang. Nice race for Collins to get up into third. But he will see if that time is good enough to move to the semis. But that's the one that's on the bubble right now.
Qualified by time from the British Royals. Theo Collins.
See the patchwork around the start-finish line. A lot of skaters always scratching that up as they reach for the line.
Yeah, when they're shooting for that finish, that toe of the blade's coming up, that heel's digging in, that really gouges the ice. So lots of ice repairs needed just to make sure that nobody catches that rut during the race.
Heat number 3 is Quentin Vercoq of the French Roosters, Petros Siegel of the Italian Gladiators, Michał Niewinski, and on the podium in this event a week ago, and flying high with very confident skates these days, Jordan Pierre-Gilles and Jung-Sun Woo. Pierre-Gilles, you've mentioned he's been trying to build that 1,000-meter endurance, and we've seen him take the lead and just try to hang on, and it's sort of hit or miss depending on how the race goes and whether he actually has.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Jordan Pierre-Gilles doing a great job thus far on the 1,000 meters this World Tour. I'm sure he's got a couple races he'd like to have back, but he's very capable in here. Don't ask me to make a prediction on this one, Gavin. This is anybody's race here.
Would not dream of it, my friend. It's a pretty loaded field, and if you look at the legs, there's maybe some specialists, the likes of Pierre-Gilles, Vercoq, and Niewinski, maybe guys who are just powerhouses for 500 meters, who might try to see if they can't slow it down and save it for the last few laps. Siegel, kind of an all-rounder, twice on the podium already this weekend.
Keep your eye on Siegel. He's always there. You can never count him out. He always seems to find a way.
Of course, Jung-Sun Woo, 22-year-old. Has also won hardware internationally in the 500.
Go. Stop.
What I like too about Niewinski is that he seems relaxed. He knows he's skating well, and he's having fun out there, joking up with the stewards as he jumps to the front right now.
Well, there's so much value in confidence in short track speed skating. If you have confidence, you can perform. It goes such a long way. There goes Siegel,
jumping to the front. He saw Pierre-Gilles was going and responded to that attack right away. And
he's well aware of the top end speed that these other skaters have. He might be thinking, hey, I'm going to try to wear them down a little bit at the front. As you mentioned, Gavin, a couple of them tend to be more that 500-meter specialist, so they may not have the legs if Siegel can keep that pace a little bit higher right from the get-go.
Niewinski now looking to try to retake the lead, jumps into second behind Siegel. Pierre-Gilles sitting in third, Vercoq, and then Jung on the back. And Jordan Pierre-Gilles up into second. Niewinski trying to retake it into the corner, retaking that inside line. Pierre-Gilles goes wide. And that will be reviewed.
So tough when you make those quick inside passes. You can't get any crossovers in the corner. You're just kind of squeezing yourself in. You can't accelerate out. But there's Jung-Sun Woo on the outside.
It's Siegel, Jung-Sun Woo heading into that last lap. Niewinski had his mouth agape, certainly tired. And it is Siegel, peerless after he jumped in front there to take control of that race.
Well, Niewinski was just battling that race out, doing everything he could. Those moves, when you're making those passes, they take a lot of energy out of you. When you go so tight into the corner, you get so compact, you're pushing a lot of G's. That just adds to the fatigue in your legs. So there's Jordan Pierre-Gilles tucking in, but he can't get really any crossovers on the entry, so he doesn't have much speed coming out. So Niewinski's looking to capitalize that and go right back on Jordan Pierre-Gilles. There we see it.
That's the incident. That's getting reviewed. And they're quickly punching in the results. Possible inside skater failure to give way. That would have been on Niewinski. It looks like the review is already done. will throw it down to the ice.
After review, we give a penalty to skater number 18 from Poland, and we advance skater number 7 from Canada.
There you have it. Nowinski punished, penalized. And it's Pierre-Gilles being advanced. And so often when these advancements happen early in the race, it's all a matter of position, and you're in the top 2, and if you're getting the victim of someone getting penalized, you're in the top 2, so you would be moved on.
Yeah, and sometimes that's a bit of the strategy. Not only is it beneficial to be up at the front to make sure you're there for the finish to go through, but you know if you're in a position to qualify and someone makes a desperate move on you, you couldn't get the cushion of the advancement.
There you go, lane change inside to out.
So, any young skaters out there listening, always smart to be in those top positions for qualifying.
And one more heat to come. And it has an early look, an early match between the two. It's only the quarterfinals, but Park Ji-won and William Danjanu, the latest iteration of their battle. Danjanu early in charge. Advantage him certainly. Also here, Felix Roussel, Lucas Beckenhauser, and Brendan Corey. As the defending champ and the man currently aspiring to his crown in the Crystal Globe.
Go to the start.
With that internal battle might open things up for other skaters, and certainly there's a lot of talent on this start line.
Well, the start of this World Tour isn't quite going the way that Park Ji-won probably imagined it. He's going to want to start making amends now, so this is a very, very important race here.
Being unable to get out of the quarterfinal while the other gets out and potentially into an A final would be a big jolt to that Crystal Globe race.
Well, let's just watch William Danjanu. He's just an artist with track pattern, the way he can control a lead. Just watch how he's moving left to right in the straightaway, down the corner. He is in complete control right now.
And Corey, the Racing Ruse real team leader, tried taking a look. But it's at such a tempo right now that passing is going to be very difficult. Park looking relaxed. Corey taking another look. Inside 2 to go. Though they're going to see 2 to go right now. And now Park goes, taking a look, shaping up for a move. Roussel goes down. Park is down as well. And it's Danjanu at the bell. Corey perhaps in a position to get a top 2. Speckenhauser also fighting for that position. Top 2 going through, and it is Danjanu and Corey hanging on.
What a finish we had there. We're going to have to get a review as Park Ji-won was looking to go on the outside. Felix Roussel felt that pressure. He shifted his track over a little bit wide, and as the two came together on the corner, they just take each other down. Park Ji-won's giving the wave that he's okay. When 2 skaters go in that tight together, you're always holding your breath.
And he's making a point of finishing as well, as is Roussel. Roussel goes as they cross the line, and that's the end of it. And there's the beginnings of it, and it's tough to look without seeing what's happening in behind Roussel.
Another review of the finish. Brendan Corey just gets his foot out in time, but he was a little off timing there as he's going to shoot.
I think he was shooting his right foot and then decided to go with his left.
Yeah, realized he wasn't quite there with the right, shift to the left.
So, yeah, the look is Park being investigated a little bit for that Roussel incident.
Here's another look here. You see Felix just go quite deep on that entry, and then as he's trying to come out of the turn, just losing his footing.
It looks like he lost his boot or his blade on his own there, and Park was just in behind.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Felix Roussel felt the pressure. He's trying to adjust. He went a little bit wide to put up a bit of a defense, but then he has to hook really tight after that, and then you have to lean so heavily. I think he just starts to boot out, lose control there.
And crystal globe standing that may inadvertently help his own teammate.
Yeah, there might have been a contact from behind too with Park Ji-won as he was coming across on the outside that set Felix Roussel off balance, so we'll wait to see what the official is, but they're going to be paying attention for that too. Is there any contact on the lead skater?
Doesn't look like it in the end. And Donjanu and Corey 1 and 2. Beckenhauser's third place time, not good enough. Who is the third place time? It's Sun Long, all the way back in heat number 1, 124.485. So in the end, one gets to go through on time, and one advancement, that's Jordan Pierre-Gilles, into the semifinals. Semifinals will be coming up after the next ice resurfacing break. And there you have those qualifying interesting heats coming up with the likes of Kreuzbergs and Donjanu, Pietro Segal, Jens van het Wout, the defending champion from last weekend. Everywhere you look, interesting race on offer. Anyway, 1500 meter women's B final. There are 7 skaters involved. They won't quite do the huge formality of an A final, but they will get their own introductions down on the ice, down to the ice level for the introductions.
Starting in lane number 1, representing the Japanese ninjas, Yamada Rina. Starting in lane number 2, representing the Croatian Dalmatians, Valentina Asic. Starting in lane number 3, representing the Dutch Lions, Sandra Velseboer. De la ligne middle cap, starting in lane number 4, representing the Japanese ninjas, Hirai Ami. Starting in lane number 5, de la ligne numéro 5, la Canadienne Danae Blais. Et de la ligne numéro 6, starting in lane number 6, representing the Chinese Longs, Gong Li.
So there you go. A pair of ice maples, no, pardon me, a pair of ninjas. A Dalmatian, a lion, a lung, an ice maple. And we are missing one. I was right. I thought there would be a pair of ice maples. False Brunel, not here.
A very strategic start to the B final.
And so this is all tactics and strategy now. No worry about third best times, fourth best times, what have you. It's a race between the 5 skaters around you, and the mind games begin.
And the quick turnaround of these 1500 meter events also plays a bit of a factor here, because there's not a lot of time to completely recover. Don't get a lot of rest, so the athletes are still feeling some fatigue in their legs. They don't want to make a move too early and then by themselves just falling off pace with a few laps to go.
Velseboer, watching her at the back. She'll certainly be motivated to take this race and put on as many points as possible towards those crystal globe standings. It's Gong Li with the early lead.
With a 20-second lap time.
I like my chances in that one.
Gavin, you might be able to keep up on this one right now, but that's going to change very quickly. What I do like to see is when this pace is so slow, we've already gone through 3.5 laps. I like to see one skater saying, you know what, this is just such an easy move to the front. It's not going to cost me any energy. Not going to wait, because pretty soon this is going to change pace dramatically.
We await for the door here. Gong Li, Yamana Rina, Valentina Askic, Hirai Ami, Sandra Velseboer, and Danae Blais. the longer this goes, I watch the woman in orange.
It feels a little bit like a jack-in-a-box here, right? You're kind of like going slow, you're just waiting for it, and then all of a sudden it's just going to explode.
Here we go. Play. Is this the moment? Are things going to erupt? Velzebor allows a little bit of a gap. Is that her building up speed?
We'll see, yeah. Velzebor leaves this gap, and she can get a couple really good corners of building speed just to fly on the outside. We'll see if she goes with that. She's still looking content back of the pack right now in 6 as Danae Blais moves to the front, right where she likes to be.
Hidai Ami right behind her, coming up to seat 5 to go.
Dom Lee moving into second. Danae Blais has just done a terrific job controlling races from the lead. She's looking to do it once more here. Watch Sandra Velzebor winding up in the back now. Here it comes.
There she goes.
Here's that speed
prepared
track.
for it. Here comes round the outside.
Huge speed track, nice wide exits, keeping those feet moving, not pivoting at all in the corner or decelerating. You get maximum velocity that way.
Going way out wide, Sandra Velzebor bided her time on the front and now at top speed inside the bell. Once that orange flash is off and in front of everybody, she is so tough to catch, and Sandra Velzebor timed that beautifully.
Patience, patience, patience there.
Not trying to force anything, and just giving that space to really start to pick up the speed.
Well, when you're in the back, there's no one there to pass you. You can really skate whatever track you want. You can go as wide as you want. You don't have to worry about someone jumping up the inside or pumping you out. So you can kind of be, you can be a bit more relaxed back there and then really set up a big move. However, you have to have the confidence and the strength to do that.
Certainly no shortage of that from Sandra Velzebor. Believing in herself, believing that she could come all the way back, and she made it look easy. It, I assure you, was not. And that is the B final for the women's 1500 meters. Top points possible on offer for Sandra Velzebor. She picks up everything that she could.
Yeah, those 8th place points are still, you want to put those in the bank. You don't know which points you may have to use by the end of the season.
There you have it, DNS for Florence Brunel, but it's Velzebor, Gong, and Blais 1 through 3. And the Crystal Globe trophy is out, as are the skaters. We'll wait for the lights. There they go. And now time for some introductions on the ice.
For the women's 1500 meter A final. De la ligne numéro 1, starting in lane number 1, last year's Crystal Globe winner and reigning 1500 meter world champion representing the White Tigers, Kim Gibby. De la ligne numéro 2, starting in lane number 2, 3-time Olympic champion, 4-time world champion, representing the Korean White Tigers, Choi Min-jung. De la ligne numéro 3, starting in lane number 3, bronze medalist at last year's World Championships, representing the USA Eagles, Corinne Stoddard. De la ligne numéro 4, starting in lane number 4, silver medalist in this distance last weekend, representing the Belgian Ice Bears, Hannah Desmets. Starting in lane number 5, de la ligne numéro 5, quadruple médaille olympique, la Canadienne, Kim Boutin. De la ligne numéro 6, starting in lane number 6, silver medalist at last year's World Championships, representing the USA Eagles, Kristen Santos Griswold. finalement en position numéro 7, in position number 7, representing the Italian gladiators, Elisa Confortola.
So as stacked finals goes, this one may top it all.
This is a great final that we're about to witness right now.
just listening to all those achievements that they listed, we could go through it. And there's world champions, Olympic champions. I mean, let's just enjoy this. Lee already victorious in the 1500 last weekend. Choi Min-jong, her teammate, already victorious this weekend. And then there's a racer. The longer this goes at a slower pace, it might be to Kim Boutin's advantage with her top-end speed, but I mean, I don't know, man. And then there's Confortola, who certainly would like to prove that she's in the mix with this absolute top-end final.
I think all these skaters are so capable. You're going to be on your toes. If you're not near the front, you got to be ready to react. I think we're going to see a lot of movement happening within the pack. If you see something, maybe a bump about to occur, you know you got to jump right away. You can't waste a moment when you're in such a field like this.
And there's not one person you can be aware of either. It's just head on a swivel, because all of them can go, and it's Confortola leading, Stoddart picking things up, Boutin trying to ease her way to the front as well.
Let's watch three big names moving to the front of the outside. Kristen Santos Griswold, Hannah Smith, and Kim Ely. Tori Stoddart doing a good job keeping the outside.
So ramping up almost too wide for a couple skaters through that corner. 7 to go.
And Choi Min-jong right now, I think she's just been skating phenomenally. So you've got to keep an eye on her. She's in 5th position right now. She's been really relaxed throughout this race. And Healy's still on the outside, putting in some extra work on this one. Choi's looking to go with her.
Kim Lee on her own to the front. Santos Griswold knows what challenge that presents. Aware of that. It's Kim, it's Santos Griswold, and it's Boutin doing some good job right at the front. Inside 3.
Here we go, here's the action.
Desmet, Stoddart all moving on her teammate. Santos Griswold hanging in. Gili inside 2. It's Kim turning up the tempo at the front. Desmet trying to match her in his court. Kristen Santos Griswold. Here comes Choi Min-jong. It's Kim Lee, it's Hannah Desmet, down goes Santos Griswold and Choi. Desmet inside, is it Hannah Desmet? She's gonna go first. Whoa.
Well, I hope these skaters are all right there. Choi Min-jong was doing a great job building on the outside. Fortunate slip for Kristen Santos Griswold as she exited that turn, just getting caught up with Choi Min-jong.
She is slow to get up. One of the stars of the circuit. Desmet, who crossed the line. I don't think she's getting watched for anything. It might be that incident between Choi Min-jong and Kristen Santos Griswold, but Desmet, not much of a reaction on the finish line.
No.
Potentially a gold medal here.
Well, very nice race from Desmet. I think that was a clean skate for her. It was she. So what happened was Desmet coming off her last crossover, her foot came back, caught the foot of Kristen Santos Griswold there. That's what put Kristen Santos down. So I really hope she's all right, because Choi Min-jong kind of came down on top of her as she was on the outside.
She is up on her feet. You hear the nice ovation. She's favoring one of her legs, though. She's got medical treatment with her, but first step, she's on her feet, and there's a look at her right there. Fingers crossed for Kristen Santos Griswold. Choi Min-jong also being helped off by Kim Lee. So we shall see.
battle. All these races have just been delivering so much drama and so much excitement in the final laps of this race. You're trying to watch 4 different things at one time, trying to check out everything that's going down.
That, of course, is what being looked at. And it has, I believe, been cleared. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but there you have it. Gold for the Ice Bears. Hannah de Smet didn't celebrate much, but she is golden in Montreal. Kim Gee-Lee backs up a gold medal from last weekend with a silver, and Corin Stoddart of the USA Eagles once again on the podium. Those results are official. Blanking this ice in Montreal. She won both 1,500 meters in Montreal. That was the days where weekends would have one event doubled up. But we'll go down for the medal presentations.
Cérémonie de remise de médailles pour l'épreuve féminine du 1500 mètres, circuit mondial ISU courte de piste Montréal 2024. Medal ceremony for the women's 1500 meter at the ISU Short Track World Tour, Montreal 2024. Les médailles seront présentées par Medals will be presented by the chief referee, l'arbitre en chef et fierté de Trois-Rivières, Michel Dumont. En troisième position et gagnante de la médaille de bronze des États-Unis. In third place, and winner of the bronze medal representing the USA Eagles, Corinne Stoddart. Corinne Stoddart. En deuxième position et gagnante de la médaille d'argent de la République de Corée. In second place and winner of the silver medal from the Republic of Korea representing the Korean White Tigers, Kim Gee-Lee. Kim Gee-Lee. En première position et gagnante de la médaille d'or de la Belgique. In first place and winner of the gold medal from Belgium and representing the Belgium Ice Bears, Hannah de Smet. Hannah de Smet. Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés, ladies and gentlemen, the medalists.
So de Smet and Kim Gee-Lee swapping places. Silver a week ago, de Smet golden this week, and Kim golden last week, and silver this week. And Corin Stoddart another trip to the podium. I did look over. Kristen Santos-Griswold was sitting and talking with the coach, so fingers crossed it wasn't as bad as it looked. But not a bad race there in the end. As always, unexpected until the end.
Just sitting back and enjoying it. What a race to watch. Again, just so much unfolding in these final laps. And here we're getting a look at the overall standings of the Crystal Globe for the women. Choi Min Jong by 2 points right now over Xandra Velzebor and Hannah De Smet just nipping at their heels with 304 points.
That big 100 points for her there, shooting her up the standings. They got another ice resurfacing break coming up. Let's see, so that's about 18 minutes from now. Coming up, we have the men's 1,000-meter semis and finals, as well as the 500-meter quarterfinals for the women. In this break, as you get to enjoy your break, keep an eye out. We did some work here on those team identities, a bit of an explainer there. And my analyst, Tyler Dara, he's spoken a lot about track patterns and setting things up for passes and defensive. He explains some of that coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're loving those new identities, too, on the ISU Short Track World Tour. Very cool to see some of those new kits coming to the line with the graphics on the front. To learn more about some of those new team identities, take a look at this.
We are the Chinese long. Basically, we don't call it dragon. It's a different kind of breed, and the Chinese dragon, they don't have wings. It's been like a mythical animal since centuries, so it's a pretty long history with that. We have it everywhere, so it's always remind us to always do our best on the ice.
We are the French Rosters. It is like a symbol of the French country, and it's pretty badass, I think. It's the team leader. We are active every time in our race. Even if we are not finishing in the first place, we will get memories of what we've done, so we are loud.
It's cool to have a symbol, and I think also towards the Olympics and everything, we always skate with the Royal Dutch Lion on our suit, so now to be able to do it throughout the whole season, it's pretty cool. It's a big thing in the Netherlands, like the Lions, like we have so with soccer and everything, that it's like the symbol, and the Olympic team is the symbol of the Lions on the suit, so it is pretty special to have it on the suit.
So we are the Hungarian falcons. We chose this bird, the falcon, a traditional animal in Hungary. And there's a city called Tata, and this bird comes from there. I find this bird kind of powerful, and I think it's going to be a good match for us.
This year, we are the British Royals. The Royals, I think, are pretty synonymous with Britain. I think all around the world everyone knows of the royal family and the history with them. We thought it was something quite fitting if we were the British Royals as well, and hopefully leave our mark on the ice like they have with history. It's an honour and a privilege to be part of that team. It's a proud sporting nation, so really want to respect that, and I'll try our best as well.
We are the Korean White Tiger. 대한민국 캐릭터는 백호이고요. 그리고 백호는 동아시아 문화에서 수호신 역할을 하며 힘과 용기를 상징하고 있어 저희에게 힘과 용기를 줄 수 있다고 생각합니다.
Great to learn more about those new identities. Now, if you watched us last week, you'll remember my analyst Tyler Dara took us out for a look at what the view is like on the ice. Now he's back again with another little explainer on some of those tracks and tactics the skaters may be taking over these races.
Over the course of the weekend, you're often going to hear us referring to different track patterns that the skaters are using throughout their races. Track patterns are different techniques and methods that skaters are using in order to gain position or defend their track position. Some of the track patterns that we're going to look at today are the wide track pattern, the wide tight track pattern, and a defensive track pattern. The wide track pattern is used to get your maximum velocity and speed during a race. This can be used in the front of the race to gain speed, or if you're in the back looking to make an outside pass. So down here on the ice, a wide speed track is what we're going to use to be building a lot of velocity as we talked about. So I'm coming down the straightaway quite wide on the entry. I'll be looking to get 2 crossovers in, right foot down near the apex, then building my speed, carrying it long out and wide. This is allowing me to have a nice, long, wide turn radius, less stress on the legs. This way I can keep crossing over without having to have an extended pivot and keep building my speed. The next track pattern we're going to look at is the wide, tight track pattern. This track pattern is most commonly used to set up an inside pass, in which skaters will move their entry to the corner out wide towards the boards so that they can hook tight on the exit and stay tight to the blocks as they pass the lead skater in front of them. We're down to the ice here, looking for a wide entry, tight exit. So as I'm going down the straightaway, I'm going to swing a little bit wide, out towards the boards, get my 2 crossovers in. I'm going to hook it tight, close to the blocks, come up the inside. That's going to help me make that inside pass. The last track pattern we'll look at today is the defensive track pattern. When skaters have control of the lead of the race, they want to defend that position, and the defensive track pattern is one that allows them to do so. By entering a little bit wider, a little bit deeper into the corner, they can cause skaters behind them to bunch up and lose their speed, force them to not be able to make a pass on the exit of the corner. As we come off the turn, might be coming out a little bit wide, covering the outside, moving across the inside. We're going to go actually a little bit deeper into the corner before turning. So what that does is it causes the competitors behind us to kind of run up against us and basically help them or force them to drop speed. What I have to be careful is if I overshoot that entry and I go too deep, then again, I'll be vulnerable to be passed on the inside. And if I don't carry enough speed through that, I can be passed on the outside of the exit. So if I overshoot here, I go too deep, I've left the inside door open before coming back in.
Thanks for that, Tyler. Great insight. We'll be watching for those lines and tracks the skaters are taking in the races to come in just a few minutes.
So they got the history dating back to the 92 Olympics, the first official Olympics in short track speed skating. So while the athletes are hanging around here, sharpening their skates, dialing their blades in for their races, they're also going to be reminded of the past, you know, and the glory behind them. So it's just great to have that as a reference to remember that they belong on this level, that they're here to compete, here to win. As their athletes are, you know, giving up their equipment, getting ready again, they can review some of the practice
practice sessions on the TV. They can review the races. It's a great way to kind of see some highlights of what they've been doing and what things they may want to tweak and improve on. As we continue through the locker room, we have a great little lounge area here where the athletes can hang out after practice or before practice. Nice safe space, somewhere just to chill, somewhere to relax. And then even, this weekend, warming up with their bikes. And as we go through here, we see the team motto on the wall, glass half full, reminding the athletes that they're fortunate to be in high performance sport and that they got to come in and fill that glass every day. Little coffee bar, snack bar, get what you need, hydrate. As we wrap up the tour here, we come in the locker room. So this is where we're going to see the athletes suiting up before they come out for the races, getting their mindsets ready to hit that ice and ready to try to win.
Right inside here on this unique facility for the Canadian national team. The first stop, the whole short track.
Encore quelques instants avant la reprise des courses, à compter de 15h17, on aura les deux vagues de demi-finale sur la distance de 1000 mètres chez les messieurs. Pour le moment, j'aimerais en profiter pour remercier le comité organisateur et tous nos bénévoles de l'événement. 2 week-ends de suite, le deuxième n'était pas initialement prévu. À quelques jours de préavis, le comité organisateur qui a été en mesure de mettre sur pied cette deuxième édition, cette deuxième arrêt du circuit mondial courte piste ici à l'Arena Montreal avec 200 bénévoles sur l'ensemble des 2 week-ends. Donc, mesdames et messieurs, j'aimerais qu'on donne une bonne main d'applaudissement. Good round of applause for all the volunteers and the organizing committee here for the United States Short Track World Tour. 2 weekends in a row here in Montreal. Et bien sûr, pour saluer nos officiels de l'Union internationale de patinage qui sont de l'événement ce week-end. J'en profite également dans les coursives. Profitez pour encourager et pour restaurer avec Subway des deux côtés, côté est et côté ouest. Bière Ciboire, également la boutique de Nagano Skate et également le Schmitzel Food Truck en avant à l'entrée ici à l'extérieur de l'Arena Maurice-Richard. Donc encore quelques opportunités pour les encourager et pour restaurer d'ici la fin de l'après-midi. So we have about 7 minutes left before the start of the action. We're going to be resuming the action with the first of 2 semi-finals in the men 1000 meters. Restez avec nous. Dans moins de 6 minutes maintenant, on passe à l'action chez les messieurs. Avec la première de 2 demi-finales supplémentaires, on la retrouvera 2 patineurs représentant les érables de glace canadiens. William Benjamin qui sera de la vague 1 et Jordan Pierre-Gilles de la vague 2. C'est le Marco. le déplace dans moins de 2 minutes. On reprend l'action avec la première de deux demi-finales chez les messieurs sur la distance de 1000 mètres. Up next in less than 2 minutes now, we'll have on track the two semi-finals in the men 1,000 meters. Je vous rappelle précédemment, deux représentants des élèves de classe canadiens seront dans ces vagues demi-finales sur 1000 mètres. Celui qui, pour l'instant, compte au sommet du classement de ce circuit mondial dans l'obtention du globe de cristal à la fin de la saison. William Danjou qui sera de la vague 1 du côté de Jordan Virgile, qui est le 11 des championnats du monde sur 500 mètres et bien sûr membre de l'équipe championne olympique du relais. Et Jordan Virgile sera de la vague 2. Lorsqu'on parle de la distance du 1000 mètres, on devra bien sûr surveiller Jens Van Wout et Dutch Lions qui sera de la deuxième vague. Robert Soulbert qui a remporté l'argent le week-end dernier sur cette distance, qui sera de la vague 1. En compagnie de Danjou qui commence à avoir un CV bien gardé, surtout sur les
Men's 1,000-meter semifinals. This block of races will see men's thousands semis, and then be in a final, and then after that, or in between that, is the women's 500-meter quarter-finals. So, of course, two semis, first and second from each race, and a maximum of one third fastest skater moving on. And another one, chock-a-block, full of talent here. A couple skaters who love to lead from the front. Roberts Kreuzbergs, William Danjou, also Sun Long, Liu Shaoang, and Brendan Corey. This one, I might venture a handicap in this one in terms of how they've been looking this week. And Kreuzbergs and Danjou have certainly gone out and been able to maintain leads. Liu and Sun have shown the ability to come back into a race, but with two guys potentially at the front, tough to pass, it might be a challenge for them.
I think that's a good prediction there, Gavin. I do expect to see Kreuzbergs and Danjou leading the front of this race.
That loads up. It is Kreuzbergs. Last weekend, a silver in this 1,000. Danjou failed to make the A final in that one. It was the one blemish on an otherwise spotless weekend for Danjou, who had a couple of medals, including putting the men's relay to bed to wrap up the competition. And now Danjou going to the front, and that's him essentially going to work into his office.
That's right. I think Corey's got to try to move up here, which he's doing right now. It's going to be really tough to pass these two skaters in the lead once they get controlled. The speed is picked up.
Sun is trying, getting all the way around to the front. He has a healthy contingent of supporters here.
Sun Long just losing his footing there, getting back on his heels, losing his speed. Danjou is able to capitalize on that and go right back to the lead. Let's watch if Kreuzberg is going to try to move up now as well.
In fact, he is. Round the outside, inside 3 to go. 3 skaters there. Kreuzberg gets a bump.
Well, we see them jockeying to get behind Danjou. They really know how strong he is right now. They're saying, okay, I'm going to let him go. I'm going to defend from second. I want to tuck in. So they've all been battling for that second position.
It is Danjou well out in front. The race is on for second. It's the battle of the Chinese lungs, and Brendan Corey trying to make a late move. It's Danjou comfortably through, and Brendan Corey pushes. I think he comes up just short.
What a photo finish there. Well, Danjou just really separated himself at the end, so that battle for second to get through to the A final was tight, but of course we have to keep in mind there is the potential for a time. We got to watch for advancements.
There is also a review underway, and I believe it was that move to Sun Long to get ahead of Kreuzbergs. Danjou, just right now, he is conceivably the toughest man in the world to beat in short track speed skating.
He's proven that in every distance.
Here is the finish. Corey again sort of wrong-footed, reaching out for the line. And I think Sun gets up there. It's Liu Shaoang into the A final. What a reach. That's a difference of 4 thousandths of a second right there.
What a stretch. sometimes the advantage, you see them get that toe up, they're able to get just a little bit more reach out of that leg with the toe coming up, the heel digging in. Sun Long, you saw his blade still flat on the ice, so maybe Liu Xiaolong there just able to get a little bit more out of that stretch in the finish.
And the Chinese lungs, just a pair of medals last weekend, one of them going to Lin Xiaojun, who went down the other day with an apparent shoulder injury. So this Chinese lungs team building because they are hosting the next World Tour stop and will want to be in peak form for that. Danjanu and Liu going on, Sun Long on the hot seat now. This one, I'm going to hazard a guess that this one may be a little more difficult to handicap. Madalini and Seagal. Seagal's shown no fear this weekend, already a couple times on the podium. Jungsun Wu, Jens van het Wout, last week's winner, and then the drag racing power of Jordan Pierre-Gilles.
Well, Jens van het Wout, obviously he won the 1,000-meter last weekend, so he's certainly a favorite in this. He's a very capable skater. He's got the speed, he's got the moves, he's really shifty with his track pattern. He can pass, he can defend, so keep an eye on him. And Pietro Seagal is the other one to watch here. He always finds a way, he finds an open door somewhere. Let's just watch and enjoy.
Go to the stop. Right.
Seagal perhaps a different tactic earlier to get through, jumping to the front and controlling things. But so often we like to see him, he just never gives up, and whether there's a gap, he's always pushing to close.
Sometimes the strategies these skaters have is they know who they think is going to try to position themselves towards the front, and then they're going to want to defend from second right behind that skater.
There's Seagal going to the front again.
Seagal certainly has the stamina where he can keep the pace high throughout this entire 1,000-meter.
Jungsun Wu making eyes at a further up position. Gets up into second. And on the inside into the lead, Seagal is bumped out there.
Jungsun Wu just threaded the needle, throwing an outside-inside pass there.
Just snuck in time, heading onto the corner. Pierre-Gilles now under pressure from Jens van het Wout. Madalini also there. Now Van het Wout makes the move. Not going to work that time.
Jungsun Wu would have expended a lot of energy to make that big outside pass, though, so he's got to make sure he's defending his position well, because I think there's some fresh legs coming behind him.
Jungsun Wu in the lead, Pierre-Gilles in second. Van het Wout trying to get up. He has two Azuri kits behind him. It's Jungsun Wu. It's Pierre-Gilles, I think, just hanging on. The review is coming. I think that was the one that might have bumped Seagal out there earlier in the race, but they're doing a photo for all three top positions.
Well, let's watch for the replay, because that pass from Jungsun Wu, he had just built up so much speed on the outside, and like I said earlier, he was just threading it down that straightaway. See if this is a look here. That's Jungsun Wu building it up wide. Here it comes, squeezing right through that little gap.
Might have been a little clip of the blade there.
Yeah, the blade's just clipping.
And it looks like that one has been clear. They were looking at maybe the lane change, but nothing doing. And there you have it. Pierre-Gilles keeping the heel on the ice. Jungsun Wu in second, Jens van het Wout, 1:26.409, not fast enough to get into the A final. And so Sun Long is through, and last week's winner going to the B final.
Sun Long through by just 15 hundredths of a second. So you can't always count on that time advancement, but this time Sun Long could.
Pierre-Gilles, Jung going to the final. All these three going to the B final. And there you have it. That will be the A final. A couple of lungs, a couple of ice maples, and a white tiger. Danjanu hasn't earned a medal in the 1,000 this weekend, hoping to change that. And then the B final, Brendan Corey, Jens Van Wout, Pietro Siegel, Thomas Natalini, and Robert Kruisbergs. So it's going to be a brand new podium in the men's 1,000 meters. Once again, big patchwork going on at the finish line.
Well, just building off that, Gavin, a brand new podium, as you said, just showing the depth of the field. 1 week later, same venue, completely different A final.
Women's quarterfinals, heat number 1. There are 4 heats, first and second from each race, and up to 2 of the fastest third place skaters will move on to the semis. And Boutin, you have to like her odds here. Position 1, known for her starts.
She's got stiff competition here with Hannah DeSmit. Corey Stoddard, 2 podium finishes. They just came off on that 1,500.
And then the younger of the Felzeboer sisters, it's Michelle. Another one who's been in A finals this year as well.
Stormowska, world ranked number 11 in this distance.
Certainly an X factor here. We pay so much attention to these other ones that might she just wind her way through and sneak in. Here we go.
Ready.
And Boutin, never mind. I was just going to say her trademark. But it looked like there was a blade. Stormovska gesturing to her skate. She's going to need something with that. Probably a little clip there off the start. And Felzeboer also getting a look. You talked to me earlier about properly touching the blades. That's a sharp little blade there, and he just ran his hand over it.
Well, I'm sure he's done that thousands of times. Just, you do have to be careful. You can run your finger over quite smoothly, but just don't be pushing into it at the same time.
Just the softest of touches.
A lot of these teams will travel with equipment managers, someone who's responsible for making sure that all the blades are in top condition. They're going to have their racing blades, which are their primary blades, but they'll also have spare blades and other spare blades, backups and the backups.
We've seen cases that are full of blades inside.
So some skaters may travel with up to 4 pairs of blades in the event that something's going wrong over the course of the competition. They're going to have to keep some of them sharpened and ready to go. So if they have to make a blade switch, they have a sharp blade ready to rock. And again, it's going to try to be a mirror image of what the other setup is, meaning that it's going to have the same bend, the same rocker profile. So it should feel as much the same as possible as your primary pair of blades.
Here we go again. And as we see so often, that woman, the maple leaf on her back, so quick off the start.
Ready.
And she does it again, but there is a bump, and that was Stormovska and Corin Stoddard this time.
More contact there, it looks like.
Well, there's going to be another blade check here for Stormovska.
That one was a little more obvious. You could tell that they had come together a little bit.
Also involved in that.
American Eagles coaches opening up the spare blade box here. They're getting the blades ready. They'll do a quick check to determine if they need to change it, and they have it ready to go in case they do. It looks like Stephen Goff's going to go ahead with the blade change here. Another look at the start. So what's difficult here is Stormowska and Corey Stoddard, they lead off with opposing feet. So what happens is every step they're taking, they're stepping their feet towards each other, making the probability of that blade contact all the higher. So sometimes it works out, it's a little bit easier if the person next to you started the same way, so you're kind of off stride from each other. But if you have reverse start positions, then it's high likelihood of that blade contact happening.
Ramping up the drama here. Kim Boutin has had those quickest starts so far. That is one of her specialties. We'll see if she can do it again, but the reaction time is very important in this 500 meters. Stoddard. Looks like they're doing a change there, tightening the bolts.
Well, there'll be torque setting on those drill bits so that it has the proper tightness. You don't want to over tighten it, you don't want to strip it. If it's too loose, we know what could go wrong then. There's about 4 different bolts they're going to have to remove in order to put that new blade back on.
Okay. And she'll see how those hold up. We spoke with Courtney Sello yesterday about the blade changes, and she says you do think about it, but you have to forget it. It's a couple strides in it, it's out of your mind. Trusting in the equipment. Let's try this again. And it's a little more even. Boutin there gets into position 1. Desmet right behind her, and Stormovska in 3rd. But 2 moves coming. Michelle Velzeboer, Desmet both go down. And it's Boutin with an advantage now. Stormovska behind her. Corin Stoddard chasing now in 3rd. Closing that gap on 2nd, but literally on the 1st lap. And this race is just thrown into chaos.
Oh, Stoddard and Stormovska battling in that entry too. And you see Kim Boutin out front. She has a big lead. You can kind of think, can she relax a little bit? She can. It takes some pressure off, but she still needs a quick time to help her in the semifinal rounds.
It will be Boutin into the semis. I don't think she'll be a subject of either of those reviews. Stoddard as well, a 44.15 for Stormovska. But first lap, Michelle Velzeboer and Hannah Desmet, I don't think they were skating together. Perhaps they had interactions with other skaters. So,
well, there's a lot of bumping on the entry of that corner. We saw a few skaters shoulder to shoulder going into that entry. We're going to have to go back to the review.
Yeah, I was just saying that. So our officials, time for them to earn their keep here. We get a look back. They came through the corner just fine, of course, otherwise they would have been brought back. Stormovska jumped up into 3rd, and here it is. Velzeboer, I think, tripped on a lane marker.
Well, Velzeboer kind of comes in to contact with Hannah Desmet there. Maybe a little bit of contact from behind on Desmet. The arm kind of comes up. You can see that right arm of Michelle Velzeboer. What she did after the start, being from 5th lane, when she stayed wide, she really used that opportunity to build all that speed. And she was looking for that big inside pass to 3rd, which she went through with. But she was carrying so much speed, she's kind of coming up on Hannah Desmet. So that's what the officials are going to be reviewing, is a late pass from Zandra Velzeboer.
Waiting on the official results, we should have them momentarily.
Okay, the perks of position 1, getting out in front, that good start. You're in clear air, and all the action can unfold behind you as you focus on just getting round safely. And they are punching in some results now. And so we are imminently going to go down to ice level for the ruling.
Making us wait.
Never mind.
All holding our breath here, waiting for that decision. Here it comes on the board.
There you have it. There might be an issue with the microphone. So Desmet advanced. Stormovska goes as 3rd place, and no time is given. So it's not a penalty, but Desmet is advanced. Number 2, Chairman Zhang, Kim Gi Lee, that one's going to come back. So maybe guide us through that. No penalty, but there is an advancement. I'm making you think about it.
They're making me think on this one. Well, obviously they saw that Hannah Desmet was impacted by that maneuver from Michelle Velzeboer, rather, so they could see that there was some contact that did put her down to the ice, but it wasn't an aggressive, move by Michelle Velzeboer by any means, so not requiring a penalty for that. But Desmet was in a position where she would have advanced had she stayed on her feet from 2nd, so I think that's where they give the advancement without a penalty.
Well explained. Couldn't have said it better myself, sir. So it is Yana Khan there getting her boot looked at. Looks like a new blade being put on. Chiara Betti also there. So just running through the rest of the field, you did see it. 2 White Tigers, Choi Min-jong, Kim Gi-lee, Wang Ye of the Lungs, Yana Khan of the Nomads, and Betti of the Gladiators. And so this is another one of those times where Kim Gi-lee, this may not be her strongest event, but pursuing that Crystal Globe requires putting up results at all of the events. Plenty of restarts in this women's 500. There's still heat number 2, just 2 more to go as well.
Ready.
This time everybody's through. It's Wang Ye coming up in to take the lead at the expense of Choi Min-jong, but she comes back. Kim Gi-lee also right there. There's Chiara Betti lining up a move from the back. She's making a look on Yana Khan inside, and will make that one stick. That's 1 for her, but she has a ways to go. Inside, 2 laps to go. It's now the White Tigers, 1 and 2. Choi Min-jong in front. Kim Gi-lee in second. They get the bell. Still the White Tigers on top in this one. And Betti making a look on the inside. Nice move from her to get up into third. How important could that be? 43.43. That one is certainly the faster of the 2 heats. Savvy move by the Italian Gladiator to get up into third there.
We do have 1 advancement, so that's consuming 1 of the 2 time spots, but still there is 1 available, so that could be a difference for sure.
She was aware of that. I think there's a point where she knew she's not going to get top 2, but let's go for third.
You got to give yourself a chance. And the 500 meters only 4.5 laps. So there's not a lot of time. You have to make sure you stay calm. We saw Choi Min-jong first looking for an inside pass, saying, hey, you know what, this isn't the moment. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to bide my time, find a better corner to a strike. It takes such patience to do that. A lot of skaters get really desperate. They want to make the move right away because they feel pressure of that sprint race. So that just shows the experience of Choi Min-jong saying, hey, this isn't the moment for me to go. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to get her on the next lap.
So that one, no discipline, no advancements of any kind, and so the White Tigers, Choi Min-jong, Kim Gi-lee, 1 and 2, and Chiara Betti very much on the bubble right now, just 1 potential third place opportunity. So she will wait and watch these last 2 heats. Heat number 3, Sandra Velzeboer, last week's winner, world record holder as well. Ricky Doak of the Ice Maples, Nicola Mazur of the Hussars, Ariana Siegel and Gabriela Topolska. A couple of Hussars in this one.
Go to the start. Ready.
Now, of course, we don't mention the world records that often in short track, but the 500 is, since it is a pure race, there are fewer tactics and ramping up of speed. It is a good indication of speed, that world record.
That's right. In the 1,000 meter, the 1,500 meter, we're not really going to see skaters pursuing a world record in a race because the time is typically really irrelevant unless it's for an advancement. However, the 500, it is an all-out speed race, so we will see quick times. The world record does have some relevance for sure.
And it's Sandra Velzeboer.
41.41 is the world record of Sandra Velzeboer.
She has ripped this race apart right from the gun, absolutely exploding out of the start. She will take it going away. Ricky Doak hanging on for second, and it's Nicola Mazur in third. And so 42.15 was that one. And Sandra Velzeboer, I think she wants to defend from last week.
That's a quick time from Velzeboer here, 42.1. As we mentioned, the world record of 41.41 set in Salt Lake City, which is known for having faster ice at altitude. Doing a low 42 here, certainly impressive time, especially in the semi-final here, quarterfinal rather. Well skated.
And if you are Chiara Betti, you've seen 1 challenge fall by the wayside. Mazur 43.422. And so 0.13 of a second, or 43.409, still holding up with 1 more race to go. And we'll see Kristen Santos Griswold is out on the ice. went down hard in the 1500. She is giving a shot. See how she's feeling, obviously, but...
Well, it's just a great sign to see that she's feeling well enough to get back out on the ice and race here.
You know how tough they are. We saw last year Suzanne Schulting essentially trying to go on I think a fractured ankle at the World Championships, but let's see what Santos Griswold can do now.
Go to the start. Ready.
So here, of course, Florence Brunel, Ariana Fontana, Petra Yashapati, and Valentina Askic. And it's Brunel out of position 1.
Fontana with a great start, too. Tracking down Brunel right now. Kristen Santos Griswold, she knows, is coming from behind, so second may not be a comfortable position to be in.
She does like having to animate things. There's the move on second, and all the way to the lead, and she makes it stick, but Brunel does get bumped. That opens the door for Yashapati at the bell. It is Kristen Santos Griswold and Petra Yashapati. Ariana Fontana in third, and it will be Kristen Santos Griswold crossing the line first. We shall see whether it remains that way. A 43.06 or 43.36 was the third time, and that might be enough.
Well, we certainly got the yellow marker on that one. We're going to need to review. We saw Kristen Santos Griswold coming with a bunch of speed on the inside. We'll watch it to see it come up on the replay here.
And I thought she was just going for second, but she just carried that speed all the way through.
Well, I think she was going for second, but Ariana Fontana kind of forced her hand to really commit to it because Fontana closed that door off, being very tight on the entry.
And Brunel was taking also a wide line, and so that opened the door for the two of them to try to squeeze through, and in the end it was Brunel forced out wide, and so not sure if there will be any discipline, but we are all through, and there you have it. Kristen Santos Griswold, Petra Yashapati going 1-2 automatically, and Ariana Fontana with the third, and that is the fastest of the third places, and so 3 women out of that quarterfinal moving on to the semis. Anna Desmet, the one advancing. Ariana Fontana, the lone third place skater, moving on.
Well, Fontana keeps finding a way to get through these rounds, working her way towards the finals.
She's certainly regaining that race sharpness in a hurry. She's skated a lot of races and doing pretty well so far. Men's 1,000 meters now, back out B final. Of course, the race for very important points. Brendan Corey, last week's winner, Jens van het Wout, Pietro Siegel, Thomas Natalini, and Robert Kruisberg's last week's silver medal winner.
Lane number 1 de la ligne numéro 1 de l'Australie from the Australian Racing Rules, Brendan Corey. Position number 2, the Pays-Bas representing the Dutch Lions, Jens van het Wout. Lane 3 de l'Italie, representing the Italian Gladiators, Pietro Siegel. Starting from lane 4 de l'Italie, representing the Italian Gladiators, Thomas Natalini. Starting on lane 5 de la Lettonie, representing the Latvian Golden Stars, Robert Kruisberg.
We say this a lot, but this could also be an A final.
Go to start.
Le départ est donné pour
9 laps. Aims for as many Crystal Globe points as he can get underway. Jens van het Wout. On the front, Kruisberg moving into his usual tactical position on the front, trying to anyway. Brendan Corey now shuffling into the lead. And Siegel, also one who has been wanting to control, making a move now. Natalini, and everybody's just almost making the rounds, cycling through. We'll see if Krusbergs now jumps to the front.
I think he will try to go
up the inside this time.
Just watch Jens Van Wel now. He's got a bit of a gap. I think he's going to want to try to wind it up and really make a big jump to the lead. We'll be coming up on 4 laps to go.
He's taking that track of giving it a bit of room. Now he goes around Corey, eyeing Siegel. It's still Natalini on the front of the Gladiators, the Golden Star. Roberts Krusbergs in second. Up the inside, meandering his way through, sneaking up bit by bit. Jens Van Wout. Inside, 2 to go. It's Natalini on the front trying to hang on. Krusbergs is there. Van Wout trying to close it up. The front 4, Natalini trying to hang on to take the B final. Krusbergs making a push. Krusbergs, I think, might take that one.
And these finishes are just so close.
There have been a number of them. We saw it in the qualifiers too, with the camera being used early. And these are a matter of thousandths of a second.
Talking about half an inch of a blade difference sometimes separating these, or in some cases we've seen a few ties.
Right, of course, and there was a tie here last year for a gold medal.
There was a tie here last year, there was a tie here last weekend as well. It wasn't in a final.
There was a lot of racing. You got to help me out here at Blanking for a moment. Let's see. I thought he might have initially had it. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Are you kidding me? 2 thousandths of a second. Roberts Krusbergs winning the B final. A self-pat on the back, too. I can spot a 2 thousandth of a second difference from up here. You're welcome.
2 thousandths of a second between Roberts Krusbergs and
Are you kidding me?
First and second in the B final. Jens Van Wel
He skate a whole kilometer just to go down to that fine of a distance.
Right.
Separation.
1:29, 2:96, and 2:98 ahead of Natalini. Van Wout finishing third, Siegel and Corey. Now, if that's the B final, let's just see what the A final has in store. A couple of teammates, and then a lone white tiger. The lights go down. The introductions are at hand.
Time now to introduce the skaters in the men A final of the 1,000 meter présentation des patineurs pour la grande finale chez les messieurs sur la distance de 1000 mètres. From Canada, représentant les Érables de glace canadiens.
Current leader of the Crest of the Globe ranking, le Canadien volant William D'Angelo. De la Chine, representing the Chinese longs and 4-time Olympic medalist Liu Shaoyang. De la Chine, representing the Chinese long and reigning 1500 meter world champion Sun Long. From Canada, représentant les Érables de glace canadiens, l'Aigle de Sherbrooke, Jordan Biergil. Et de la République de Corée, representing the Korean White Tigers, qualified from the repêchage earlier today, Jang Sung-hoo.
That long day for Jung Sun-woo. Through the repêchage, but into the A final.
Yeah, that's a long day for him.
L'attention est palpable à l'Arena Maurice Richard cet après-midi. L'or, l'argent et le bronze seront remis dans quelques instants. Et bien sûr, les précieux points en vue de l'obtention du globe de cristal à la toute fin de la saison. Ce circuit mondial issu de stakes are high, gold, silver, bronze, always important.
Maybe the tactics is try to get in front, be ahead of him, try to get him caught in the back, so he has a lot of work to get by all the way to the lead.
We know his tactics. It's not a secret, but just knowing it is not enough to stop him.
Go to start.
World champion in the 1,000 meters, the world champion in the 1,500, both in this race. And it's Jordan Pierre-Gilles being followed by Sun Long. That does have Danjanu in third early, but he is in the ascendancy.
Just a master of track here. Danjanu is working his way to the lead. I think Jordan Pierre-Gilles now is really going to want to be tight on Danjanu, defending that second position, and then looking for his opening to strike.
Danjanu, Sun making a move into second, into the lead. Pardon me, that's Liu Xiaoan. But Danjanu bites back quickly.
That's Sun Long in second right now.
It is Sun Long, pardon me.
Here we go, this is Danjanu going to work. He's in his office right now. He knows how to control a race.
Here comes Jung. Sun lost a lot of speed there on a wobble. 2 to go. It's Danjanu in control. Jung Sun-woo trying to pressure him. But it's going to take a whole lot to try to pass William Danjanu. Jung taking a look. I don't think he has it. William Danjanu, of course it is.
Well, we know he's got 500-meter goal. He's got a pair of 1,500-meter goals, and it looks like, awaiting the official result, he's going to get that 1,000-meter goal.
This was the only one remaining.
Okay. The gold medal skate by Jordan Pierre-Gilles there, looking like a bronze medal. Waiting for the official results. And Jung Sun-woo, what a day for him. He went round after round after round to work his way all the way here. Gave William Danjanu a real challenge in that last lap.
He was probably the first person who ever really pushed a little bit there. Took a look on the inside. Just wasn't there. But these Ice Maples, home ice, using that advantage to their benefit.
And we've been talking about that team overall Crystal Globe title. Another 2 podium finishes for the Ice Maples here. That's really going to further their lead in the standings.
So we'll see the other teams who will set to host the Lungs, the White Tigers, the Lions, and the Gladiators. We'll all hope that home ice will bring the same good fortune to them, but I don't think any good fortune is required. Right now, William Danjanu is just that good.
Well, he's so strong at the front. Again, you'd be expecting someone who's putting up that much effort in the lead, the front of the race. You'd be thinking, okay, at one point they're going to start to fatigue. I'm fatiguing, but they're doing more work in the lead. I'm getting the benefit of drafting. I think there's going to be an opening as he fatigues at the end, but what? Danjanu is not fatiguing at the end. He's keeping pace. He's still accelerating it, making it ever more difficult to pass him.
Good camaraderie between the skaters. They see each other quite often, whether it's in training in various places or around the world. And then, of course, the hotels when a lot of them are staying in the same place. We'll throw it down to the ice for the medal presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, la cérémonie de remise de médailles pour l'épreuve masculine du 1000 mètres. The medal ceremony for the men's 1,000-meter race at the ISU Short Track World Tour. Les médailles seront présentées par. The medals will be presented by the assistant referee, Mr. Al Gresham. En troisième position et gagnant de la médaille de bronze du Canada. In third place and winner of the bronze medal from Canada representing the Ice Maples, Jordan Pierre-Gilles. Jordan Pierre-Gilles. En deuxième position et gagnant de la médaille d'argent de la République de la Corée. In second place and winner of the silver medal from the Republic of Korea, representing the White Tigers, Jang Sung-woo. Jang Sung-woo. En première position et gagnant de la médaille d'or du Canada. In first place and winner of the gold medal from Canada, representing the Ice Makeables, William Danjirou. William Danjirou. Mesdames et messieurs les médaillés, ladies and gentlemen, the medalists.
When you speak of consistency as the key to the Crystal Globe, at least through 2 weeks, that is personified in William Danjou, who really one slip up last weekend in the 1,000 meters, but otherwise just banking points right now.
Yeah, when you look at the overall Crystal Globe title too, you take your best 15 results. So assuming that William Danjou skates all events throughout this world tour, there's going to be 18 total individual events, so he can throw out 3 events over the course of this world tour. But right now he is just stacking up the points. He's already at 500.
Closest, that's a 172 margin ahead of Pietro Segal. So if we're taking the best 15 results, he already has 3 wins this season. That matched his total from last year. Pardon me, 4. That is ahead of his last season's total, and he's chucking one of his self-branded hats into the crowd. It's the gesture that he makes with the wings, with the hands. William, win, wings, all of it represented in one logo. And not quite at the final ice resurfacing break just yet. Women's 500-meter semifinals to come. 2 heats, top 2 from each, and up to 1 fastest third-place skater. And ooh boy, look at this one. Sandra Velzebor, Ricky Doak, the 2 top U.S. Eagles, Santos Griswold and Stoddard. And then let's just say she's an X factor.
And wearing number 21,
the
Canadian skater, Ricky Doak.
Well, we see Sandra Velzebor position 1 on the line. We know she's going to get off to a flying start. Ricky Doak in second. She also has a quick start, so her job here is going to be getting right on Sandra Velzebor off that quick start and trying to separate themselves from the field.
Just about all even off the line. It's Fontana with a great start. Gets a bit of a bump, not bringing that one back, and Velzebor now can just take off.
Ricky Doak wants to try to reel her in, but Sandra Velzebor is so fast. She's creating more separation in the lead there.
And it's Santos Griswold closing the gap on Doak, making the move up the inside and getting that stuck on the inside line. Inside 2 to go, it's Velzeboer in front. Santos Griswold closing. Can Velzeboer hang on? Fontana into third, and it's going Santos Griswold, not able to close the gap just yet. Sandra Velzeboer into the A final. Santos Griswold second, and Fontana, we'll have to see if that time holds up, 42.63. But Velzeboer, it's almost good night if she gets into the front.
That's right. She's just so dominant off that start. She can open up such a lead, and her top speed is so high. The work that she's done to improve her stamina, her endurance in the 1,000 meter is really going to pay dividends in these 500 meters as well, because she's not dumping speed at the end of the race. Again, Ariana Fontana, we saw her qualify to the semifinals based on that third place time. That is a quick race. I think that's going to be a difficult third place time to beat. So if there's no advancements, we could see Fontana again finding her way to another A final.
Casually coming back in to make another A final.
Representing the White Tigers, first overall this season,
essentially trying to get off the ice as quickly as she can to recompose herself, because it's an ice flood and then it's final time.
Very, very quick turnaround here again, as we talked about, Gavin. You don't even have time to sharpen your skates, really. You hopefully have spare blades just set up, waiting in the wing, that you're gonna maybe just switch the bolts on, put the new blades, shake the legs out, spin for a few minutes really light, and then put those skates right back on your feet.
And we see Kim Boutin, another fantastic starter. She's going from position 3 in this one. Petri Ashapati, Choi Min-jong, Kim Gi-lee, and Hannah Desmet. And no Hannah Desmet in this semifinal. Yashapati hanging on nicely to take position 1 to the lead, and that Boutin just got bumped a little bit there, cost her a lot of speed. Choi Min-jong and Kim Gi-lee now in second and third.
Choi Min-jong looking for that inside pass. Both her and Yashapati kind of hesitating on the entry. That cost them some speed, allowed Kim Gi-lee and Kim Boutin both to get back into this race.
Kim Gi-lee into second. Yashapati goes out wide. Going to be tough for her now at the bell. Choi Min-jong and Kim Gi-lee, the White Tigers again on the front. We'll see if Boutin can close it. I don't think she has enough time. It is 1-2 White Tigers and a 43.39 for Kim Boutin. That would not be good enough to get into the A final.
As we know, there's no Hannah Desmet. She did go down a little bit awkwardly in that previous 500, so hopefully she's okay. Maybe she's just taking this one off to rest. Although I believe she would be done for the weekend. This would be her last event.
Yeah.
So hopefully she's okay. Look at the replay here.
Kim Gi-lee had a lot of work to do there to get up behind Yashapati.
She did, but if anyone can close that gap, it's her.
And in a hurry. She needed it done in a 500 meters. Everything needs to be done particularly quickly.
But Kim Gi-lee and Choi Min-jong, we're seeing them time and time again battling it out with each other. They're looking very evenly matched this season.
So, your A final. Almost a shame to have not have Boutin and Velzeboer side by side to see who wins the fastest start off the line. Choi Min-jong, Kim Gi-lee into the A final. Boutin, Yashapati will race for the points in the B final. So we talked about it. Not much time to wait for those finals. There's your A final. Velzeboer, Santos Griswold, the 2 White Tigers, and Ariana Fontana. Doak, Boutin, Yashapati, and Stoddard to race in the B final. One final break to come. We'll come back immediately with the finals for the women's 500 meters. B final, then A final. They'll have their ceremony, and then we won't be flooding the ice again. It's just right into the relay with the men's B and A final. One final break. We got to meet some of the Chinese lungs, and also you've seen how the mats keep the skaters safe when they crash. We'll have more on the design, and we'll look at some of the history of that important safety measure in short track. Stay with us, lots more to come.
They range from starting all out
can happen. There are a lot of good things, but I think that the Netherlands last year did really good, and we'll see this season. Canada, Korea, China, the United States as well. Those are the main teams.
Action.
Welcome to the Short Track World Tour.
6 events around the world.
Montreal,
Beijing,
Seoul,
Tilburg,
Milan.
the best skaters on the planet, battling for the crystal globe.
It all begins here in Montreal.
I'm very excited for the new season. It's always exciting to start the season and see everyone back. And it's nice to start it here. We're usually in Montreal. The atmosphere is there and a lot of things changed, so that's exciting. You have to wait and see what the rest is up to. But I feel good, so I'm confident that I can show some nice things.
Delighted to be here. First stop on the Short Track World Tour, which is our fast, dynamic, action-packed series that we're presenting for the first time here in Montreal. We wanted something to commemorate the achievements of the Crystal Globe winners, so we've created these limited edition one-off each year helmets by ITSAC, and they wear them throughout the season.
First of all, we start brainstorming, and then after like a lot of these sessions, we come up with a design, and then I just start making them. So they'll just look awesome, and they earned those helmets for sure.
First stop in the World Tour, first time in their new team identities. So yeah, the skaters themselves, there's a lot of excitement out there. We look forward to some amazing racing this weekend.
먼저 제가 가지고 있는 트로피 중에 가장 큰 트로피이고요. 그리고 크리스탈 글로브가 생긴 지 얼마 안 돼서 제가 따게 되어 정말 영광스러운 트로피인 것 같습니다. 이 헬멧을 쓰고 어디에 있든 제가 제일 잘 보일 것 같아서 좋을 것 같습니다.
우선 첫 번째 크리스탈 글로브가 생겼을 때 첫 번째 초대 수상자였고 두 번째 크리스탈 글로브가 생겼을 때 하나 더 수상을 할 수 있었기 때문에 지금은 이제 쇼트트랙의 역사가 되었다고 생각을 해서 굉장히 기분이 좋습니다. 처음 이제 헬멧이 생기고 나서 첫 번째 월드 투어에서 이렇게 새로운 헬멧을 쓰게 돼서 이보다 더 큰 의미가 있을까 싶어요. 크리스탈 글로브가 생긴 뒤로 남자에서 크리스탈 글로브를 수상한 사람은 저밖에 없습니다. 그러면 더 설명이 필요할까 싶고 저는 지금도 최고이고 앞으로도 계속 최고일 것입니다.
Showing full name? Well, my parents were not really into sports, but they always wanted me and my brother to be healthy, so that's how we started to do skating. I love the speed, I love the energy, and I love the atmosphere when you're on the ice. Like, it's crazy. My favorite hero is Shaolin Liu, my brother, of course. I don't really have routines, but sometimes I do meditation, if that's good. I think everybody knows, like, when I'm on the track, I'm switching on my other side because I always look like super moody on the ice, but that's not true because I'm off ice, I'm really nice, I guess. My best friend? I think I have to say my brother again, so that's a silly question. Funniest skater in the team, I think, is Sun Long. Shout out to him. Like, he's always talking, like, sometimes too much, but yeah, we get along. The Olympic Games, like, it's always give you some kind of pressure. you always have some good memories and you always meet some new friends there. The grumpiest, I would say it's me, because the others like really scared of me. So my hobby is like, I like to watch movies because it's like a passive thing to do. Like after the trainings, you don't have much power to do anything. So I'm just like, I'm a lazy boy. So a lot of people don't know, but I'm kind of nerd into Marvel movies. So yeah, I'm a superhero fan. Favorite musician? I like Travis Scott, Pop Smoke. I don't know what else can I say. Probably do something into fashion and modern.
The World Tour brings together skaters from around the world, lots of personalities out there on the ice we see in every single race. But let's meet more of them off the ice.
Maybe Canada Willie. Willie is tall, is fast. Korea Park Ji-won, 15000 is leading is good.
我最喜欢的选手是 Sandra。
一个烤鸭，第二个葱油拌面，我非常喜欢。
我觉得在3月份举行的荷兰世锦赛里面，我的1500米和我们的团体混合接力还有男子接力，都是让我最难忘的一个经历吧。在同一场比赛里，然后我的团队基本上都获得了冠军，这是我们一起庆祝的时刻。
棒球 ，escort。
接力中的超越，然后我觉得速度，我特别喜欢速度，我觉得短道速滑的速度特别快，然后在接力时队友的配合，然后还有每一次的超越，都让我感觉到很兴奋。
我其实还挺庆幸自己是一个短距离选手，自己其实在接触到速滑开始就非常喜欢在冰场上这种飞驰这种驰骋的感觉。我认为就是喜欢速度感吧，然后在比赛当中跟很多选手们一起比拼一起切磋，我认为都是非常好的事情。
大家一起拿金牌，我非常开心。
我觉得赢的秘诀是一个冷静的头脑吧。
As we well know, short trackers are a different bunch. They like to live, well, dangerously, but given the high potential for injury in this sport, that puts a higher priority on safety. Things like these big mats you see behind us here. Who better to speak to us about them than Hugo Hernhoff, 1994 Olympic gold medalist representing Italy and ISU events director. Hugo, think back to when you first started skating. What was safety like out on the ice then?
Well, going back in times, let's go back to 1978. Long time ago, short track events actually were held without any protection padding. So we had an ice rink with the ice hockey boards, no protection at all. At that time, I was a kid. I started at the age of 9. And I remember during the first races, they actually put at the exit of the curve simple bed mattresses. And then it slowly developed with better paddings and normal foam structures at the exit of the curve, which is the main crash zone for short track.
Now, as we know, of course, crashes are a fact of life in short track. And I look at these, and these are some pretty meaty mats. What goes into the safety systems here in terms of protection?
Well, it has been a long path to get to this level of protection system. Now, obviously, for the ISU, just to make it very clear, safety is highest priority. So it has always been a higher priority and will always be, because that's what we are working on. That's what we have an eye on. Because we need to guarantee the best protection for the athletes. At the beginning, we started with 20 centimeter single foam protection mats, mainly at the exit of the curves. Then the layer was doubled to have a thicker mats. And then the real game changer was actually during the Olympic Games in 2006 in Torino, with the University of Engineering in Torino, to make a different inside structure of the mat. And start with a sort of a mobile padding system, removing part of the ice hockey boards. One of the biggest changes was in 2020 with a new communication where we actually said, okay, we need to reach at least a 70% of improvement of what we had in the past. And to achieve this, we created an independent testing center with the University of Engineering in Lausanne, where the manufacturers would send their sample pad to be tested. And there we found out there was quite some differences between the different manufacturers worldwide. And we realized that some were better than others. So we set the benchmark at 70%, which then helped also other manufacturers to make some improvements. And so they've been working hard. And nowadays we have more than 5 world manufacturers that are reaching this level. And we can say we had at a good level of protection, yes. There's no protection in the world that can 100% guarantee there's no injury. We need to be aware that they are going 55 kilometers an hour. They can fall 3 or 4 athletes at the same time in the same spot. So the mats are to a standard to give a very, very high safety protection, but there's still a chance to have an injury. It's a risky sport, we all know it. So there can still be injuries.
Thank you very much. Hugo's come a long way from mattresses on corners. Lots more to come. This second ISU Short Track World Tour weekend in Montreal. Women's 500-meter finals still to come, and then, of course, the men's 5,000-meter relay. B final up first. 4 skaters listed, 4 skaters on the ice. Ricky Doak, the Ice Maples, Corin Stoddart of the USA Eagles, Kim Boutin, the other Ice Maple, and Petra Iashapati of the Hungarian Falcons.
Athletes presentation for the women's 500-meter B final. De la ligne numéro 1, starting in lane number 1, representing the Canadian Ice Maples, Ricky Doak. De la ligne numéro 2, starting in lane number 2, representing the USA Eagles, Corin Stoddart. Starting in lane number 3, de la ligne numéro 3 du Canada, Kim Boutin. Et de la ligne numéro 4, starting in lane number 4, representing the Hungarian Falcons, Iashapati Petra.
Kim Boutin always with a smile on her face when she's introduced. I think she likes what she does.
Unless she likes racing at home.
That too.
Go. Position.
Out of position 3, another good start for the Canadian veteran as the Ice Maples 1 and 2. With Boutin jumping to the front, the world champion taking the lead.
Yeah, fantastic start from Boutin here. Ricky Doak has a quick start as well, so it's no small feat to jump out from 3rd on the line to 1st from Boutin. And she's got a nice little lead here.
And inside 2 to go. It's closing up a little bit. Boutin trying to maintain her speed at the front. The pain really starts to set in. Corin Stoddart with the opening now at the bell. Stoddart looks on the outside. Is she going to dive into the middle? She's taking a look. Is she going to make it stick? Yes, she is. Corin Stoddart coming around to take the B final. Nice race from her.
As we've talked about all weekend, there's still points available in these B finals that are going to be incredibly valuable, not only to these skaters in the individual rankings, but also for the team rankings.
Stoddart, who's been on the podium a few times today. Not today, this weekend, or this time in Montreal. We'll get another nice boost of points, coming in officially in 6th if all the results hold, taking that B final. Boutin early just couldn't hang on, couldn't maintain that speed all the way to the end.
Well, I think the amount of racing is adding up now over the course of the weekend. Boutin, of course, is such a fantastic sprinter. She had the 1500 meter already today, which she did quite well in. So I think that fatigue's catching up. We could see in the last lap, she's starting to tighten up her track pattern on the entries, and that's what allowed Corin Stoddart the opportunity to move by to the front.
USA Eagle taking the B final. There's the photo. Not as tight as some of the photos we've seen today, but a good look at just how close they are. It's a matter of tenths, hundredths, as we've seen, sometimes thousandths of a second. Getting set up for the big final. Confirmation of the result. Good win for Corin Stoddart in a tough field in that 500 meter B final. Athletes coming out on the ice. Women's A final down to the ice for the introductions.
Athletes presentation in the women's 500 meter A final. De la ligne numéro 1 starting in lane number 1. She's the world record holder in this distance, representing the Dutch Lions, Sandra Velzeboer. De la ligne numéro 2, starting in lane number 2, bronze medal winner at last year's World Championships, representing the US Eagles, Kristen Santos Griswold. De la ligne numéro 3, starting in lane number 3, reigning Olympic champion from the Italian Gladiators, Arianna Fontana. De la ligne numéro 4, starting in lane number 4, ranked number 1 so far this season, 3-time Olympic champion representing the White Tigers, Choi Min-jong. Et de la ligne numéro 5, starting in lane number 5, last year's Crystal Globe winner, also representing the Korean White Tigers, Kim Gi-lee. Fasten your seatbelts, everybody.
Yep,
we have the reigning Olympic champion, the world record holder, the number 1 overall this season, and last year's Crystal Globe winner.
They are the best skaters in the world, but they've also navigated very difficult races where anything can happen.
I think Sandra Velzeboer is the favorite in this one. We know her blistering start, but she's going to have Kristen Santos Griswold tracking her down, hoping to be in second position off the start line for her.
Go to the start. Ready.
It's a good start for Arianna Fontana, jumping from 3rd into 2nd, but it is Velzeboer off like a shot out of position 1.
Just a fantastic start for Fontana. I think she maybe caught Kristen Santos Griswold a little off guard there with how quick she was off that line.
Is Velzeboer building an early lead in a 500 meters. This is massive. Santos Griswold goes for 2nd, makes it stick. Choi Min-jong coming up on Fontana, but Fontana fighting back.
What a battle we have here for 2nd. Choi Min-jong going all the way around the outside. Kristen Santos hitting a block.
The battle for 2nd was on, but all the while it is an orange blur on the front. Sandra Velzeboer does it again.
And And what a finish for fourth as well. I believe Kim Gilly just got right inside on Fontana at the line to snatch that bronze.
Pending these reviews.
Yeah, we have a few markers on the board. Sandra Velzebor clean in that race from the front, but a lot of action in behind.
Kristen Santos Griswold will imagine she'll be icing some injuries after this one. She took a bump in an earlier race. Tough as nails to come back in this 500 meters. And inches her way over the line. We'll see what the review happens. But I think Sandra Velzebor, you stay out of trouble, you stay out of danger when you're just the fastest skater in the field.
Absolutely, it's such a benefit to have that quick start. It's so hard to train to learn to get a start that quick too. A lot of that happens to be some natural ability. You have that fast twitch muscle. It's so hard to train it, and she's putting it to good use here. Here's a couple looks. The inside pass of Ariana Fontana going back to second.
And this might be the bump, or is it Santos Griswold going down on her own there?
And that actually just held Ariana Fontana up a little bit, giving Kim Gilly the opportunity to get some speed, get back at her on the line.
There is the photo. Kim for bronze, potentially. Looks like the Santos Griswold fall is cleared. And they're just checking at the line. Still unofficial. I haven't made anything just official just yet, but the first incident was cleared. There is a potential arm block by Fontana at the finish. Of course, Fontana did cross the line fourth. Penalty might, of course, affect points and all that. And we do have an announcement to be made at the ice level.
After a review, we give a penalty to number 105 from Italy.
There you have it. Fontana penalized at the line, arm block at the finish. So Santos Griswold will get fourth behind the two White Tigers, and the woman to beat in the 5,000 right now, Sandra Velzebor. That stop, or that start, stop. That
The woman
start.
to beat in the 500 right now.
What am I saying?
5,000 meter relay will be coming up next though.
Thank you. But yes, in the 500 meters, there is no peer right now for Sandra Velzebor. Her start makes the difference.
Well, we just saw that finish where Ariana Fontana was penalized with the arm block. Again, I think coming off the fall of Kristen Santos Griswold,
Mesdames
Ariana
et messieurs,
came back,
ladies and gentlemen, la cérémonie de remise des médailles pour l'épreuve féminine du 500 mètres. The medal ceremony for the women's 500 meter at the ISU Short Track World Tour. Les médailles seront présentées par. The medals will be presented by the assistant referee, Mr. Thilo Michel. En troisième position et gagnante de la médaille de bronze de la Corée. In third place and winner of the bronze medal representing the Republic of Korea, the White Tigers, Kim Gilly. Kim Gilly. En deuxième position et gagnant de la médaille d'argent de la Corée. In second place and winner of the silver medal from the Republic of Korea representing the White Tigers, Choi Min-jung. Choi Min-jung. en première position et gagnant de la médaille d'or des Pays-Bas. In first place and winner of the gold medal from the Netherlands representing the Dutch Lions, Sandra Velzeboer. Sandra Velzeboer. Mesdames et messieurs, les médaillés, ladies and gentlemen, the medalists.
So we'll see if, can't do the math, but we'll see if that's enough to move Velzeboer back atop the Crystal Globe standings, or if Choi is hanging on. Choi Min-jung was also in that collision with Santos Griswold earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Choi Min-jung's been racking up the points too. I believe she was...
There you go, 18 points right now, the difference. There's so many skaters who could start racking up points. This one's going to be a fun year.
Well, already a big shift because we saw Hannah DeSmit was previously in second prior to this distance, so.
Down to fifth. All pleasantries will be renewed in less than a month's time in Beijing. And 2 more races. They are the biggies. First up in the men's 5,000 meter B final. A chance to shake up the standings in the team Crystal Globe standings. British Royals are out. Kazakh Nomads behind them. There's also the Chinese Lungs and the Belgian Ice Bears.
Well, Gavin, these 5,000 meter relays, always eventful to watch. So many skaters on the ice. We got 16 skaters on the ice from these 4 teams. Always going to be something to unfold.
And again, last weekend, the Royals didn't even get out of the quarterfinals, finishing 3rd in their heat, and this time they made it to the semis, and of course the B finals now. Belgium also, the Ice Bears did not get out of the quarterfinals. Here they are racing for a good gathering of points. Let's see how they shape up on the line. The Royals going with Theo Collins, Dennis Nikisha for the Nomads, Wara Van Dam for the Ice Bears, and Liu Shaolin for the Lungs.
Expect to see a controlled start here.
Just for place, time is irrelevant here. That's the Royals. And the Lungs, shoulder to shoulder, too wide.
Wearing number 25,
there's a long way to go. This will gradually pick up speed. Of course, if you're a regular viewer of short track, you know that. You know how hectic the finishes can be. Even in this B final, where those points are all the more important now with the Crystal Globe standings, and already the Chinese Lungs a bit out of rotation there on their exchanges.
Well, this might be part of the strategy from the Chinese Lungs right now. Maybe letting some skaters take a few extra laps. It's always fun to see a bit of a change of tactic. You don't always get that too often. Most teams stick to somewhat the same format, making 1.5 lap exchanges until the end, where we have a 1 lap and 2 lap finish.
Everyone back on the same exchange there. Sun Long taking it from Zhu Yiding.
Sometimes teams may opt to have one skater sit out for a few exchanges to rest their legs. It's a very interesting tactic when you see that happening. The pace is this slow. It's very easy for a skater to go up and do 3 laps. It's not going to cost them that much energy. However, 3 laps later in the race at a very high speed could be very costly. So, interesting strategy here.
Everybody's still in the 9.5 second range, inching down bit by bit. It is amazing how, almost like clockwork, it comes down a few hundredths every time. See, that one actually inched back upwards again, so they failed to prove my point.
Well, they still got 34 laps to go, so they aren't going to push the pace too much. I think we will see those speed fluctuations. It's going to be coming as a result of someone making a pass.
Starters all back in here.
And as you watch more relays, you can really learn to appreciate the flow, the rhythm to them. There's the skaters on track. They'll exchange the skater who's setting up inside. They'll take a lap or two gliding after their exertion on the track before they come back into the middle, then reposition themselves, all the while making sure they're staying vigilant for their team in case there's any slip-ups or falls, so they can get out to tag up.
Might be a look at the anchor legs there with the likes of Stan de Smet and Niall Tracy and Adil Galiakhmatov. Everybody now back on the same page when it comes to the exchanges. The Ice Bears making that move to the front. Inside, 28 laps to go. What lap do you usually say things start to get chaotic?
Usually, once we get within the 20 lap marker, so we kind of get down to about 18 laps to go, that's when you start to see things really shaking up. Teams will really be starting to situate themselves near the front. Pace will pick up, the ice will get chewed up, and that is when the action happens.
For sure. I was just thinking with it, at this point, the ice is starting to potentially go away a little bit. A lot of skaters on the ice, especially coming after those 500 meters. Niall Tracy, another pole, giving way to Kyle Ross-Waddell at the front. Meanwhile, the Nomads just hanging around there, not upsetting the apple cart too much. Now they might move for position. Nope, thought they had a look there up the inside of the Belgians, not taking it.
Well, I think the teams know the Chinese lungs are the favorite in this race. They might just want to be situating themselves behind that team, waiting for them to try to strike out in front. The Chinese lung team is so versatile at passing, so they may be choosing to be patient in this race as well.
It was just Frey Van Dam there earlier. Still a junior level skater. We'll see him on junior World Cup events and junior worlds, and imagine just the experience he's putting into the memory banks right now.
Okay, we're hitting that 18 lap to go marker now, so let's pay attention. Let's expect to see some movement. The reason why we kind of watch here is we're getting close to the end, but the speed still isn't too high yet, so it still presents a good opportunity to make moves to the lead.
Mostly Yates on the front for the Royals. Being stalked there by Glebivchenko. And down go the Ice Bears. I think they went down on their own. It's a late tag up there. There it comes.
And if you're paying attention to the lap times now, we've seen them really dropping down. We're under 9-second laps, 8.5 here. Now these skaters are really moving.
Stan de Smet there to take over. It's Ivchenko on the front, Tracy. Just keeping an eye out. It was Liu Shaolin now giving way to Li Wenlong, and they move up into second with the Nomads in the lead, the Lung second, and the Royals in third right now. And this is a chance. Nope, thought they might have been taking over for the pass, but not going to take it just yet.
Ivchenko leading it out for the Nomads right now. 8.5 again, keeping that pace steady. The Royals have a slip up there.
Big stumble there, causing them all to lose all kinds of speed. It's a 2-horse race. It's Nikisha now, and Sun Long on behind him, coming up inside. 8 laps to go.
Well, as your legs tire and the ice fatigues out here, that's when things get interesting.
Liu Shaolin behind Adil Galiakhmatov. Kazakhs with a really strong 1-2 punch with Galiakhmatov and Nikisha, but now the Lungs are in the lead off the exchange. It's Li Wenlong in the front.
Here
we go. And a little stumble by the Nomads, first coming out of the corner, then on the exchange. That allows the gap to be built up. It's Zhu Yiding. And Nikisha about ready to come in for the Nomads. He's got work to do. There is the gun. One more exchange coming.
Sun Long trying to build up some speed to pass off to his teammate.
It's Liu Shaolin to anchor things for the lungs. It's Adil Galiakhmatov. He's closing it up. He's back in the discussion. It is Liu at the bell. Galiakhmatov, is he going to make a move for the lead? He's going to try up the outside. Galiakhmatov, is he going to change it to the inside? He's pushing Galiakhmatov at the line! I think the Nomads took it, but that will be reviewed. So he crossed the line first, both taking a tumble.
These finishes today just been wild. Galiakhmatov doing a great job. Liu Shaolin a little bit tight on the corner entries there. I think he was ditching a little bit of speed. That was opening up the opportunity for Galiakhmatov to set up on the outside to really try to look for something at the finish line. We're going to have to go to review on that. We see the yellow dot marker there. So there was a lot of arms moving around at the finish line. I think the officials will be paying attention for that.
There's the incident with the Ice Bears. I think they went down on their own. So they are saying a possible arm block. So let's see at the line. You be the judge at home.
Well, here's a look right here.
Oh my. There's a strong Chinese contingent here making their voices heard, saying what they saw on the line. Everybody is okay. Everybody keeping their blades away from everybody else. That's a heck of a photo anyway.
That is a very interesting photo finish.
So long as everybody's okay, we can laugh a little
That's
bit
right,
there.
that's right. You know, this is why the skiers are here. They're here to battle it out. They're here to scrap it out. They want to just do whatever they can to win.
It's a show for us in the end.
Stay injury-free, of course.
Of course. And so results are being punched in. So we might have a ruling imminently. And down to the ice.
After review, we have a share of responsibility on Kazakhstan and China.
There you have it. So shared responsibility means you're both not getting punished, essentially. And so the Kazakh Nomads taking that B final.
You're neither innocent nor guilty.
But also both at the same time. And the capper on two memorable weekends to kick off the inaugural ISU Short Track World Tour. So get a look here. No penalty, shared responsibility. They're both kind of leaning into each other, both reaching at the line.
Arms coming up on both sides, both leaning into each other, both just trying to get there first.
For shared responsibility, those could just say, our ruling, that's short track.
Yep.
Down to the ice for the introductions.
Well, you know, they want to make sure that the competitors can still compete with each other. They can't get too, you know, overly strict on all the penalties.
Athletes presentation for the men's 5,000 meter relay A final. De la ligne numéro 1, starting in lane number 1. First overall last year and reigning Olympic champions, Team Canada! Steven Dubois, William Nanjinou, Félix Roussel et Jordan Pierre-Gilles. De la ligne numéro 2, starting in lane number 2, silver medalist at last year's World Championships and at the Olympics, the Republic of Korea, White Tigers. Park Ju-won, Jang Sung-woo, Kim Tae-sung, Park Jang-hyuk. De la ligne numéro 3, starting in lane number 3, bronze last weekend, the Netherlands. Dutch Lions, Jens van 't Bout, Itzhak de Laat, Friso Emmons, and Shinky Knecht. Et de la ligne numéro 4, starting in lane number 4, Team Italy, the Gladiators. Pietro Siegel, Lucas Beckenhauser, Thomas Nadalini, and Mattia Antonioli.
Once again, the Gladiators Orchestra back for a return billing. It's almost deja vu all over again with 3 of the 4 finalists from last week's. The White Tigers won the B final last week. The Chinese Lungs, the only team missing out, but all the same here with Canada going for the sweep of the relay races here this weekend.
And what a points tally that would be if they do.
Huge 900-point addition to the Crystal Globe standings in the team competition. It's Speckenhauser starting for Italy. There's Shinky Knecht. There's Felix Roussel.
Silence, s'il vous plaît. Quiet, please. Go to the start. Right.
The early feeling out stage is underway.
Shinky Knecht getting his Dutch Lions to the front of this relay. We've talked about it before. It's really nice to be out in front in these relays. You can kind of save yourself some of the chaos of the exchanges, making for cleaner exchanges, helping you stay on your feet and avoid any chaos.
And for the first time today, Jung Sun Woo started all the way back in the repêchages this morning, and here he is wrapping up competition. Itzhak de Laat behind him, and William Dongenou, the anchor for that Canadian side, at least last weekend. Expect many, or at least some, very important twists in the tail as this progresses. Roussel into second, getting ahead of Knecht on the exchange.
Well, I think this weekend they're going to have Stephen Dubois finishing off the relay. Based on the order sequences I'm seeing right now, might be looking for William Dangenou to try to create some separation when he goes out on his turn, or try to make any moves to get them to the lead, where they'll finish with Felix Roussel and then Stephen Dubois in the final. But he'll be up against some stiff competition with Park Ji-won and Jens van 't Bout.
Remind Siegel, there is an incident down. Park goes down, but it was after the exchange, and so he's up onto his skates and is fine, and so no harm, no foul at this stage.
No effect to the race that fall.
There is Dongenou. Nadalini deciding to jump around and ramp things up a bit. And suddenly Dongenou finds himself in third as they make the exchange for Roussel.
8-5 lap there from the Italian Gladiators from the outside move by Nadalini. Nadalini's just been flying with the outside passes these past 2 weeks. He's just making them look easy.
It's Siegel, it's Park Ji-won, it's Jens van 't Bout, and Stephen Dubois now finding himself in fourth place. A lot of strong anchor legs in this race. That with the inside move. Lorenzo Previtali on the front for the Azzurri, the Gladiators. Another exchange to move the Canadians up into third there with Dongenou. Keeping an eye on where Roussel is on the inside. Here comes another pass for position. Can't quite make it stick. Perhaps a better decision to not push it, not force it at this stage.
Yeah, you look for those openings, but you may have to just bail out of them. Maybe hit the brakes a little bit before the entry to avoid any trouble.
Dubois almost right up into the back of van 't Bout. It is still Seagull in front as Park slots into third. Inside 24 laps to go, waiting for that real turn of the screws.
And this race is picking up a little bit quicker than the previous one. We see these athletes going in about 8-second laps right now. Coming up on 22 laps to go. William Danjanu looking for a move here, sneaking into second, putting up his hand saying, hello, I'm here.
Still behind Natalini. And it's the Gladiators still in front right now. Roussel of the Ice Maples in second. Shinky Connect of the Lions in third.
The Gladiators are doing a good job of controlling this race from the lead.
Inside 19 now, still Seagull. Lorenzo Previtali will have Jordan Pierre-Gilles bearing down on him, but look out, here's Itzhak Dalat into second.
17 laps to go. Here it comes, 8-6 laps I'm seeing on the board.
Natalini, let's see what Danjanu does. Kind of unfamiliar territory for him, but we do know he is odds-on the man in the world right now. And you see Shinky Connect, he saw that pass and he almost took the inside line right away to block Roussel coming through. Not going to stop him though, Roussel into second.
Well, Roussel saw that, he jumped to the outside. That allowed him to get back up the inside, but a pass right back on the exchange.
Little confusion as the pass was made right on the exchange, but everybody's through. But now the Ice Maples slot into fourth as Jens van het Wout goes for the lead. Now we're really picking up.
There you go, Jordan Pierre-Gilles capitalizing on that move from the Italians, but it's at Dalat holding it on the outside, retaining that lead.
Jensen Wu into fourth, and they're going to try to go up to third on the exchange. They do that, closing up right behind Danjanu, who makes that move effortless. Absolutely brilliant from him on the inside.
Fantastic pass from that outside, jumping up the inside. That's creating that lead. That's what we thought that the Canadians might be looking for. The Ice Maples having Danjanu in that position. Roussel, two corner crossovers in on that corner, really extending the lead here.
It's a scrap for second right now. Dubois, he can fly. The 500-meter champion from yesterday at top speed. He's tough to top. Pierre-Gilles coming in now, and the Canadians just going with horsepower right now.
Well, the Ice Maples want to force these other teams to be battling out behind them, but Itzhak Dalat doing a great job closing that gap down really quickly.
Nice move by Dalat as the White Tigers slot into third. The race has tightened right back up. They are seeing 4 to go. Danjanu in the lead. It's a battle for second.
Watch Roussel build it here. 2 crossovers in. That's so difficult to do when you're this late in the race and the ice is running. Roussel's keeping that speed going. Here's the handoff to Dubois.
And it's Dubois. It's usually all but academic when that happens. Here's the exclamation mark in for the Canadian Ice Maples. 1 to go. Park Ji-won is trying to catch him. He is not going to do it. It is going to be relay dominance for the Ice Maples.
And the Lions go down to the last turn here.
Without peer at the moment. Through all the trials and tribulations of any relay race, somehow, some way, the team wearing the maple leaf comes through, and I'm hoping Dubois is down with a smile on his face. He is. He seems to be okay.
It's a good thing the race was over then.
Jordan Pierre-Gilles summing up an exhausting weekend. Oh, that's William Danjanu, pardon me.
Gold medal last week, gold medal last year, gold in the Olympics, first overall. They are unstoppable.
Well, the Ice Maples, they're sure delivered for the home crowd here.
2 weekends in Montreal, a chance to use that home ice to bank a whole lot of points on this World Tour, and mission accomplished.
View of the race here.
I think it was clean. I missed what happened there at the end. And the results are official. the Ice Maples, the White Tigers, and the Gladiators. And Dubois, once he's off in space, and yeah, there's the tumble by just a whole lot of speed going into that corner. But once Dubois in clear air with space behind him, so long as he stays on his blades, it's all but academic by that point.
He didn't hold off. You saw the second last lap there from Dubois, 8.2 seconds. So that was just further extending the lead. And then in that last corner, he just knew, okay, I'm clear. Just stay on the feet, get through this last corner. Time to celebrate.
Specifically, the Ice Maples for Team Canada.
Results confirmed. Ice Maples going away a solid half a second ahead of the White Tigers and finishing off what has been an impressive home performance from them before we set off to places new next month and over the course of the next several months. They're all just getting their podium jackets. Get the hardware. Time now for the last victory ceremony for the weekend in Montreal.
Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, la cérémonie de remise des médailles pour l'épreuve masculin du relais 5000 mètres. The medal ceremony for the men's 5,000 meter relay here at the World Tour event in Montreal. Les médailles seront présentées par, the medals will be presented by the referee, Mr. Michel Dumont, accompagné par son assistant with his assistant, Mr. Thilo Michel. En troisième position et gagnant de la médaille de bronze. In third place and winners of the bronze medal, Team Italy, the Gladiators. Mattia Antonioli, Thomas Nadalini, Lorenzo Previtali, Pietro Sigel, and Luca Speckenhauser. Team Italy. En deuxième position et gagnant de la médaille d'argent. In second place and winners of the silver medal, Team Korea, the White Tigers. Jang Sung-woo, Kim Gun-woo, Kim Tae-sung, Lee Jung-soo, Park Jang-hyuk, and Park Ji-won. Team Korea. première position et gagnant de la médaille d'or. In first place and winners of the gold medal, Team Canada, the Ice Maples. William Danginou, Philippe Daudelin, Steven Dubois, Jordan Pierre-Gilles et Félix Roussel. Team Canada! Mesdames et messieurs les médaillés, ladies and gentlemen, the medalists.
So as we head towards our goodbyes from Montreal, we can first summarize the men's things, I think, with Ice Maples, Danginou.
Sa première médaille d'or en carrière pour Philippe Daudelin.
It's going to be a wide open Crystal Globe. It's just some incredible racing on that side.
Well, the competition on the women's side right now is just incredible. It's coming from everywhere. Kristen Santos, Kim Gilly, Choi Min Jung, Hannah DeSmit, Lori Stoddard, Kim Boutin, Zandra Velzabor racking up a couple of gold medals herself over these first 2 World Tour stops, so she certainly has.
And already almost 600 points. Well, it's over 500 points, the lead right now. That's not a bad weekend, not a bad little injection into the bank account there after 2 weeks.
It's going to be a lot of fun to pay close attention to these standings individually and on the team side as we work through this World Tour. We're a third of the way through, 4 more stops to go. Anyone's game at this point.
Lots more to come. We'll see if the Lungs and the White Tigers fight back with their chance on home ice next month. So we're going to sign off from here in Montreal, back at it with competition getting underway with qualifiers on the 6th of December from Beijing. So keep an eye out depending on where you are in the world. Time zones are a fickle business. Anyway, next month we have the Beijing and the following weekend from Seoul. Until then, on behalf of Tyler Dara and everybody here who's put this all together over the last 2 weekends, thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to next month and the rest of the season. ISU Short Track World Tour. I'm Gavin Day. Goodbye.